I just need a spark, light in the dark. I got a 2-chambered heart, too. Don't always listen when you talk. We was wishing upon a star.
I've just landed. Real enough that this battleground will remember.
I'm bringing this bad. She sees the world, expect I follow with my soul connect. Hey. In a storm, I still come aiming, I pressure and rain. Whoa. No fear, every step I claim, face strong, not a thing I change. Staying in my lane.
내가 선택한 플레이. 정해진 룰은 없어. 내가 정해. 그게 바로 G-Dragon. Battleground.
A new collaboration, movable death boxes, and some changes to Miramar. All this and more as we dive into the update 37.2 patch report. First up, the desert's about to heat up again with a visit from the iconic artist G-Dragon. You'll be able to find an emote stage on the starting island. Special G-Dragon map decor such as a decked out gas station and fan room, and other themed visuals such as planes, blue chip towers, and care packages. And be sure to head over to the G-Dragon truck stop to immerse yourself in the recreated Power music video set. Next up, we're improving the way you interact with some of the objects around the map. You'll now be able to reposition death boxes to get them to a safer location before looting, or use them to lure unsuspecting loot goblins to their demise. Doors can now be opened inward as well as outward, and all those gas tanks you've been wanting to shoot for years will now explode when you do so, leaving behind a large cloud of smoke to cover your movements. More details on where you can see these changes in the patch notes. And speaking of Miramar, the Minas Generalis area has gotten an overhaul this update as well. We've streamlined building layouts for more efficient looting, added more item spawn locations, simplified the terrain and structures, and balanced out the engagements between high and low ground in the area. There's also a new Survivor Pass, the return of Survivors Left Behind and Hungers Left Behind, some updates to Team Deathmatch and Intense Battle Royale, and more. So check out the patch notes for full details. Update 37.2 is here, so drop into Miramar, stack those death boxes high, and kick back with some G-Dragon hits. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Still alive and just eviscerate the team just like that. They have taken the game.
about these events like the PUBG Hot Drop 2025 that we just had is simply just meeting all of these amazing people.
PUBG for putting on this amazing event. It's been so much fun. It's been so great getting to chat to the devs, getting to see everyone playing games and having so much fun. Thanks to all the team that's put it together.
It's great to be here. I can only say to other PUBG players, come here next year.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player. Let's get ready to do some PUBG! Last day, Ko-O. Last day of a crazy year of TPP action, but unfortunately, it's our final 4 maps. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I don't know about you, man. I'm a bit energetic.
It's almost I'm pre-nostalgic, you know. This is the end of a long year of TPP casting. This is the end of a long year of the circuit, and for me at least, I mean, I'm not in the Masters, I'm not in the last chance. So for me, that is the end. And for a couple of players today, it might be the end to the circuit for them as well. I mean, we got 12 teams that will be going empty-handed tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is some bad news. Let's just remind everyone how we got here, because there were some steps that you could have partaken in, but unfortunately, this is the last run. So we did do week number 1, where these teams sort of duked it out for a best of 3. We're currently on week number 2, so we've done the scrims. We've got some qualified teams based upon the points they've got. Now, normally, historically, for those that have been following and are avid fans of the TPP circuit, you'd know that it's normally a best of 8. But unfortunately, last week and this week is only a best of 4, because we are in the last stage. We've done all the Masters, we've done all the Super Cups here, Ko-O. We are going to the last chance, because we have PUBG Masters West, where we have to decide our top 8 teams that we're taking from EMEA are going to duke it out with the Americas teams as well, to decide who is the best TPP team out in the globe.
You say to decide, I'd say to show everybody. I think the decision is already made. I think it's pretty clear that we are the best region. It's an obvious one for me.
Facts.
But we are gonna see the top 4 from tonight get a chance at that. So let's remind you who's already qualified, right? We already have 12 teams for the last chance qualifier. We have 8 from the Masters, and then we had 4 from the last Player Cup, where, for example, Twisted Minds had to qualify because they weren't here for Masters 3. They were still, I think, away from EWC, so they didn't come back home in time to play the Masters. Didn't make it into the scoreboard of the overall Masters, qualified through the last Player Cup, and then we have 4 slots left for tonight.
Yeah, that's the key thing. It is those final 4 slots. And you're right, there's a lot of teams that obviously were at EWC, and obviously they were obviously celebrating. Some were sort of screaming it out. So then we saw these phased Twisted Minds come back. The teams at the top, though, the ones with the gold around them, they're all about that. Actually, they qualified for the Masters circuit. So they actually got enough points on the system that actually for them it means they get their way through. Talk about points in the system, let's look at that leaderboard, because we are looking, Ko-O, for a top 4. We play one of the maps a day, and look, do you know what, a lot of teams done well. Bushido left it to the very, very last minute for me, so it arguably ascend on that 3rd game, but it means that it's super close. Again, top 4 guys and girls, current cutoff is 28. It's still anyone's game realistically.
Oh, it's fully up in the air, honestly. If you're looking at a 15th place that could win a game with 4 kills and be 4th, that is crazy, right? So it's absolutely crazy how stacked this is. I think this is one of the most equal scoreboards we've seen after a day of PPT. Yeah. And even an 8-8 in first, a little bit of a 10-point gap, that's nothing. And they will have to show up today like they did yesterday. They'll have to be consistent. They'll have to get the frags wherever they can. They played great PUBG yesterday, but they'll have to continue doing that today, because nobody's locked in, and I think it's fair to say nobody's locked out. Havoc, sure, they have to start hot. I think they probably can't leave it to the last 3, but if they play a good first game, they're right back in it.
Yeah, look, I think a 5 kills and a win, like a 15-point game that puts them up into the 20s. That's around that Sendar area. Obviously, yes, we expect other teams to move up and down, but arguably they have the opportunity. Now, as Kara says, we've only got 4 maps, and it has to be aggressive for some of these teams. Now, I feel like there's a world, I know we spoke about it in the green room, that actually a team potentially could run away with it today. I'm the other side of the coin. Yeah. I think we're going to see what we saw yesterday, where kind of one team pops off per map, and that means when it comes down to game 4, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like, it's every single game is going to count, and every single fight is going to count. And you'll remember a few teams from yesterday, a Redline who maybe threw away the win a little bit on Miramar, for example, right? Or any other team who's just made that slight misstep, and it cost them dearly. You can't get away with that today. You have to be totally up to your game. And same is true for an observer who likes to fly through the entirety of Hacienda before catching the plane. If he's not on his A game, he is going to fumble, and he's going to have some regrets.
And he's gone the wrong way.
Let's go! PBT time! And the Observer, we're looking to the sky. He's committed, though. Our Observer has committed. Every game, he's going to level up. He's going to go hardcore and give us some super cinematic entry. But for this one, it's 1-0 to the Casters. We're coming in from the northeast, down to the west. We favour that north side, and this is our one and only Miramar.
One and done. Spoke about it yesterday. Miramar bit special because two of the highest profile teams in the lobby loot right next to each other, right? Ascend, Bushido. Yeah. Bushido was super happy in the last chance stage in PEC to not have Ascend looting next to them, gave them tons of space, gave them some home circles, which they were able to extract a ton of points from. But I say that, it's not Ascend that's the problem right now. It is actually a full team just hot dropping around mid to Bay and Celtic. It's the team from the west. I forgot the exact name that they were running under here. But they're gotta be careful because they're gonna lose some cars here. They're gonna maybe be under a little bit of pressure early on here, Bushido.
Wasted. They get the card, they're gonna go.
Yeah.
They're out of there. So they have taken the car. Zone goes towards the north. Now that's going to favour back to that conversation we're talking about with Ascend and Bushido. Ascend, who historically were dropping kind of down that sort of southwest corner. They went to sort of water treatment, which I think suits them, and they do play water treatment to Oasis. This is a perfect zone for them. Now, let's see what they do with it. There's a lot of unplayable at the top, and a lot of teams, arguably, Koa, should be moving early here because of the zone, especially if he came out late on the play.
I mean, yeah, for sure, especially because this circle, it has a lot of prio. It has a lot of prio compounds that are just massive. If you look at where teams can go here, there's so many spots with an insane amount of high ground, and you already see Miss Your Voice already on the send, already going, already trying to lock down that top hill compound before Ascend can even get to it. Maybe get himself a free kill on the way, and this could in theory catch Ascend off guard. I don't think they're going to be going for it, but you would rather expect them here in the saloon, right? You would expect them playing out of Cruise into the saloon compound. That's also honestly a massively popular compound. So Ascend could literally get caught off guard here because of how aggressive and how fast the Internet Heroes are taking this.
But that compound there is so crucial, I feel, for these zones. And then if you can't get that, the ones that sit on the east, you mentioned the saloon, that 2-2 split, and I think we're seeing this now. Ascend knowing that's going to be a key compound. Killian, the guys now obviously launching their way forward, but they're going to be running up to at least a 2 versus 1 as it stands. Argument is Ascend might be able to hear those cars that give them the reinforcements.
Yeah, this is some early shots though popped off, so there might already be a bit of a signal sent. That might tell him to slow down. I'm not quite sure what the situation is here. Maybe Ascend is the one doing the catching off guard here. Maybe it's actually the Internet Heroes who are in trouble. I love that Ascend is doing that together. That's something that I think is massively underrated, is honestly just keep it simple and do things together. Killy, Chris lined up here, waiting for someone to step out into the open and immediately punish him.
It's good play. I think that car was the giveaway. I'm getting, what, like half a second, 5 seconds, maybe we're 4, anywhere between there, and they've pulled the cars up, they've run on the compound. The send might be on the receiving end. Now they've been able to take advantage of this one. Now they're trying to figure out, maybe wait for the overstep here from the guys. Now Heroes have been spotted. Miss Your Voice might have missed the cues from Ascend, but Ascend have a big another call here. Do they also bring the other two back to this compound? Do they still try and hold out? They're going to get the opening here, and that was timed to perfection. One is down. Now they need to try and figure out if there's a second in the compound.
Yeah, well done. Ascend not getting caught, doing the catching instead. That's big news, and that's Gumperton immediately hopping in the car, trying to get himself out of there. He's going to be fast with this. He might not even have time to turn around, but yeah. Gets himself down. A bit of supportive fire from the rest of the team. Kid keeps Itzchris in cover, at least for a little bit. And that should make the escape. But that was looking dicey for Ascend when we were looking at the map. But just a bit of a misstep from the Internet Heroes here, who take what's essentially in Ascend's reach and then don't respect the fact that Ascend could want that as well. So, I thought they were reading the situation perfectly, but they really weren't.
Red line, trying to read the rotation. Abdu does put one down. Zico will try and get the additional fire. They have pulled up though, gets the bike as our phone number will hold. And Zico gets the turnaround. So let's be cautious for now. And the Chaos though will force us back towards this map at the moment. Let's talk about that prior compound. And I'm with you. They're sending the right spot now, especially because it is their home turf. I want to highlight what Bushido have done. Bushido arguably have respected where Ascend are likely to play also. So that's why we see them sort of backfilling into water treatment as well. So I think that's really key and critical. Just sometimes to keep an eye on that map feed, guys, because when you see these maps and you see them pop up, it's all about understanding. Actually, teams might not be moving just for aggression. They're trying to take some area away where possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the early game, right? It is the main part of the early game. It's space and it's info. Right, and both of that's why these compounds are so valuable. That's why a high ground compound like that Ascend was just taken is so valuable. This is the other side of the coin. This is just straight up getting kills early, and sometimes kills will translate into space, sometimes they won't, but they will always translate into points. So Redline trying to close this one out. Evas come in around the side. They want to get Karks back up. They don't want to be reliant on blue chip res later on, and that's a good bit of damage dealt. That should be Evas on the closeout now. Phone number has the angle, has the info. The player's down to 1 HP. This should be a free push. He just called it. He's in the shack. And Evas,
one shot.
There would have to be a miracle for him not to get this frag. He's taken a while. But in the end, he does find it. Redline cleaned it up. The 4 angry sends are out. And it's a nice, easy 4 kills for a Redline that hasn't been contested here at all.
Ascend are chasing down as well. Ascend still holding part of the compound, but they are chasing kills. So a stance lot more aggressive than what we see. And I said this yesterday, when I see Ascend aggressive, it's outstanding. This kind of suits him at the moment. So again, looking for some more kills. So as you hear though, Airborne now picking up free side. Hale's gone for a bit more of a longer rotation round towards that north, and they will find the compound, but they are a little bit split on a 2-2 as it stands. We do have more teams though working their way in. The likes of 100 ADR, they're going to be sort of pressing this position. And we see a lot more teams now starting to play this kind of north side. We're getting a lot of these sort of Oasis areas, and as Oasis will hold on to the zone, maybe for another zone or so, before we see that south shift, it does give the opportunity for these teams to rotate around this north.
Yeah, it's a really special part of the map in that sense, where it's so vast and open that rotating through it doesn't feel all too bad, because you can see enemies who are miles away, right? And it's not easy for anyone to hunker down and camp and hide, because there just isn't that many structures in that northern part of the map. So generally a good rotation route if you don't want to be contested. And, well, there's always an easy way to rotate if you do have a glider. Always a solid way to gather all that info. But it is 3 teams up here, and that's, I think, the point where it starts getting a little dicey, especially if you're the one stuck here. That being said, if you're watching the minimap like I was, sorry, I'm crazy. I don't think he's actually here. That's a little bit of an observer bug. That man is rotating with his team. He's miles away from here, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, get in there. Show us what's going on, because I think, yeah, that's, they're chilling. They're hanging out.
There they are. It's an illusion. But that's the spectator's blip. So if a player rolls in here, they're not going to see someone who's kind of sitting there. Unlike this, though. Havoc, who need a big star, unfortunately will lose one, trying to crash into a compound already taken away by Crash, so they'll be happy. But we'll have to wait and see. No additional crashes though coming in just yet. Most of these teams setting their stall out here. But interesting, you guys are not even got into the pre-show, and we're already losing bodies and we're already losing teams, so the stance today is aggressive.
Yeah. It comes back to a little bit what I said earlier, is sometimes these early kills will translate into space. And we just saw that a little bit from Ascend there, where they get that early kill. It does give them the compound, but it also gives them the knowledge that the team to their east is now a 3-man. And then all they have to do is watch where that car drives, and they know, oh, it's a 2-1 split. Okay, this is a solo in that compound. We can take that whenever we want, right? And that's how these kills do translate into space, into possibilities in the late game. And that is something that cannot be understated, and I will never get tired of talking about it, because the impact these singular kills in the early game can have is just massive.
Also the pacing, Slide unfortunately losing 2 as well, so they are down bodies, down on the south side, and they are neighbouring Havoc, obviously in AA's in other teams that'll be just on the other side. Water treatment obviously completely free now. Bushido looking to leave in the zone. Will shift. It's a heavy shift towards the north. We're still holding unplayable to a huge degree here, Koho. And a team like Freeside, which took a more passive rotation, avoiding the teams, expecting now to come in from the north to play into the south, they have the pick of the litter of where they want to go.
And everybody else is sending. If you're a little bit away from the team while you're sending, you might get under fire. Might have to sweat it out a little bit, and you can see there's one more Bushido player coming in right behind Redline. Redline knew they would try to maybe do something about it, but Bushido well aware Nelkop is gonna try and deviate a little bit, get himself into the rest of the squad. Redline are continuing on. They're continuing on towards Wubuki, but they're on the difficult situation now where everywhere they drive, they're gonna get shot at, and they have to start picking one spot that they just commit to no matter what.
Yeah.
That's not an easy choice to make.
Especially we've got a lot of voices in the pie and people are talking away, right? Sometimes an IGO just needs to make a call and everyone sort of sticks to it. We can't hear the comms. Just elude him. I've been in a lot of chaos teams like that, but for now, Redline making a rotation now. Ascend already played away, so still on a little bit of a 2-2 split here. They have got the body back up, so they are on 4. It's Christo with the defensive Panzer ready. Zico senses the danger, goes right on the other side. It's Chris going for the reposition. He looks for the shot. Oh my god, he scores as well. He puts him down. It's Chris will claim another kill. And what a moving Panzer hit. What?
And they destroyed Slavin as well. What is that? That is 3 kills, by the way. Brex got his on the other side. Chris finds one with a Panzer. Keely finds the other with the AR. Redline. That wasn't even a terrible rotation. In a lot of situations, they'll get away with at least 3 alive there. And they lose 3 instead. That is mental stuff. Ascend are on it today. The bootcamp buff might be coming in. That was some sick shots landing.
Oh, that Panzer. Look, some people are fans of Panzers. Some people are not. That was a moving vehicle on a Panzer, right to left. So good play. There's another Crash coming in. Crash will try and hold off now. As the breach, they are contained arguably in one side. They have a little bit of aroma though, sitting on this sort of southeast corner. Ever, on the other hand, spreading across. Utility dump now, going in towards the saloon. Doesn't quite get the connection that's needed, but they are repositioned. Sending bodies now to the outside, trying to catch these players, rotating around the out.
Slow down a little bit if this util doesn't connect. Abyss World is actually pretty lucky that none of them makes it in. One explodes on the roof, one just in front of the window. But we do get to breathe at least a little second. Yeah. Crash C, they got one of their frags earlier when they were defending Hacienda. Now the circle's so far north. Hacienda is completely irrelevant. They're looking, still rack him up, and Abyss World is playing with a bit of fire here, but he wants that frag. It's shots exchanged, but it's the headshot landing for Stippy. Question is, do they want to do anything with that?
Who's going to take advantage of the sandstorm, right? They can move it. Denies the visualization of these angles they're trying to hold. Had the opportunity to move around. Crash, though, don't do anything. Everlong hold their positions, but they are moving the Panzer. So they're being more of the aggressor here. Now they breach themselves up, though. Doko does get the first one out, getting a turn, comes back from the Saints from above. Still a bit of a head-to-head as the usual dump continues to go through.
That's a knock on the flash. There's another one to follow it up. One comes back with the nade, but mutually assured destruction is what we always tend to call this. 2v2 now. Both teams bleeding. Nox getting touched as well. Round 32 destroyer. Oh, he's so in the open. He might not know it yet, but
he can't peek.
Nox,
he can't peek right one.
He doesn't know which one to peek, and if he finds the right timing, he could destroy them, but he's got to be so careful about the angles he's picking. The Panzer Faust is missing. That's big.
It's Chris special. Denied by the bar. Does get the re-peek, though. Goes down to the final player. Now, on the outside edge. I'll be cautious, though. It's going to be hard for the peak. We said before. Everlong will be Everlong lasting as that Molly starts to dissipate. The rotation comes round. He gets another one opening, though. 1 versus 1, but it's clean and done. Everlong clear it up. The zone does shift back down towards the south, but these guys are not quite in. All the unplayable has now gone. We do find, unfortunately, for Zico, for Redline, down to that final player, he finds himself give or take in the center. Ascend also collapsing up their split, giving a bit more freedom for these teams that are playing in on the west.
Committing to one of the compounds, hoping the zone does come their way. Just power the numbers right now. And the Ibuki, he got stuck on the door. I think he wanted to dip back in, but he couldn't. Just like that, Hixus only won the compound. That's exactly why some of these teams have decided to group, right? Look how immediately dispatched ADRs because they were in that 2-push split. He's got nowhere to go. He's got nothing to do. Knocked and flushed. And just like that, ADR down to half their members, and 888 will know about this as well. They can just continue the train here.
Yep. 100 ADR getting caught out with that 2-2, unfortunately for them. Bushido, on the other hand, oh my god, they're really far. Hopefully this is a replay. Yes, it is. Here goes that Panzer. Kadosh. That is, like, again, the timing.
But the guy's already 1 HP as well, by the way. Keely was hitting some shots.
Goes down, but Keely gets his second now, right?
Yeah.
It's that fadeaway. Chris, again, hitting shots on it, but just to pick up the vehicle and the transition, outstanding.
So sorry to interrupt you there, but like that guy, Karks is already headshot, body shot before the Panzerfaust lands, because Keely is just hitting everything, and then he transitions to the second. And that's a Mirado driving away from you. Anyone that's watching that does play the game, it's not that easy to fit bullets into that little rear window. Keely just fits 2 or 3 in there before Chris even starts shooting. So crazy stuff. Super well connected. And the circle does go a little north, a little northwest. So Ascend, probably they were never sure where they wanted to group. They might not be super happy about where they did group, but they're still 4-man strong here with a few kills picked up. They should be fine. And you can see Zeko immediately going for something more central because he knows like he's going to get cleared where he is at the moment.
Yeah, he needs to find a dip, somewhere to try and play, lay low, send on the shots as well. But unfortunately, he gets picked up by Brex and down. For those that don't know, Koa did mention it, but Ascend are playing at the Ascend headquarters, so they are all together in a boot camp, as we said, which is super interesting to me to see how players play together, because you can pick up energy really effectively, which I think is great. I also worry if they don't have a good game, can the negativity come into play? I think it's always one of the hardest things is to keep a team emotionally balanced.
It is. Absolutely is, especially in PUBG, where you're just sitting around waiting for the next game to start when you have a bad first one. Like Redline now, they'll wait around 20 minutes, right? That's at least how long they'll have to wait to get into the next game. That's when things are on the line, when tensions are rising, that is a long time. But I think it goes to show a little bit, right? I think a lot of players would be more comfortable playing from home. But Ascend is showing that that's not the main goal for them. The main goal for them is to be good on LAN, and they want to qualify there. And they want to be the best they can be and not just do okay in these events. That's a nice setup for ADR. Meanwhile, fully punishing Bushido. Push, even though they were a duo, very quickly dismantled.
It's unfortunate for them. Bushido losing bodies in the red line are on the line just at the point is they're now sitting out, and they've got to let these other teams around them unfortunately catch up and maybe take over. Bushido, one confirmed, second now out, 1-2. They're on the compound, but you have to try and hold out. 2 versus 2. No one else really pushing from that north. There's a bit of time, and arguably both these teams are in zone.
Long. Empty Blank is pulling up into dangerous territory here, and that car's blowing up, and when it is, that should be a free pickup, and there it is through the smoke. Doesn't matter because they knew exactly where he was proning behind that vehicle. April's knocked though, and so is Blazer. Blazer already flushed here as well. So 888 not staying clean in this. That blue zone is ticking. First aid is there in time. Empty Blank, 888. They're tearing each other apart, but I just don't know where they go after this zone either, so they still have moves to make.
Yep, and here comes the zone shift as well. Empty Blank, a good game on Miramar. We also saw Stormman requested the same as well. Redline, they were the kind of major teams for me after the game number 1 yesterday. So I'm crazy. I sit on the outside edge. They've lost 2 as well. Everyone bleeding numbers, and the heroes is down to 0 swag. So again, cautious. Have to run through a duo, but a 2 versus 1 is possible. But that's a great angle for both of them, just to try and isolate.
So many teams just grasping at straws at the moment with not much to play here. We see players proning in almost unplayable spots. That's a shotgun versus a bit of explosive damage coming around the corner. Luchik finds one again though, then the molly does do the trick. We're down to a 1v1 in what used to be a 4v2 for Bushido. Already In bleeding numbers here. Nilkop has a bit of a wrong read on where that player is going to be, but Luchik, he can just, easily stick that res because he's going to see whenever Nilkop wants to get the util in.
Oh, what an angle.
He found that angle.
Through the box as well. Sneaky, peeky. Bushido able now to cross.
That's sick.
Does he know he crossed? I don't know if he caught the cross. Yeah, he does, yeah. Oh,
the bounce is bad, though.
Yep. That's like Bushido just to get that res. Now they move back. Now he goes back to a sneaky angle, but able to post util. Bounces, unfortunately, the wrong way. Doesn't get the arena. Call it confirm. Jumps up. Oh my god, gets a shot. There's one, there's two. Bushido swipes out by 100 ADR.
Well done by ADR there. Just holding it together at the very end. Clean stuff on the defense. Again, defense is the name of the game, right? When you're playing TPP, it's just a little bit easier. But the shots are clean, the reactions are clean, the decisions are well done. Keely's pulling up to this shack. I assume he has a lot of util to work with, otherwise he wouldn't be here. And you can see he's lining up that molly. He knows now. He's getting the information from the squad as well. They probably have seen that there could be a player behind the shack. He's cooking, and he's throwing, he's lobbing the nade, and just like that, Ascend, they're picking up another 2. And honestly, at this point, show us how many kills they're on, because I think they've been picking up just kill after kill from their compound.
We've seen him in the kill feed quite a bit, actually, to be fair. Whether the confirmations that come through, I think that's yet to be confirmed. Back towards the action on the other side. 888 holding the shack, and we are getting pushed here. Empty blanks, hopefully going to fire up with no blanks, but fires straight into has 5 on it. And they put him down. 9th place, though. Still not quite in the placement points. And yeah, Ascend are in 10. 10 kills. Living the dream.
All they want to do now is weaken the teams around them, right? If they can manage to pick off 1 from Storm on request, that would be massive, because that allows them to play basically every circle comfortably. And they might have done a bit of kill feed tracking. They might have a pretty good idea that Storm on request is already down to 3, and that will help them later on. Keely gets the looting going, maybe gets himself another piece of util, maybe another bit in the arsenal. As you can see, he's on 3 nades here. No blue zones. That would have been nice for the shack, but they did not need them in the end. And the circle is good enough for them to hang out here a bit, get the mortar in from Aniko as well. But then they will have to make a play. And I think they would love to dislodge Storm on request here, because look how much space Storm on request has that Ascend would love to control themselves.
Yeah, it's really good. Now, the mortifier might not be getting the connection, but at least it's pushing them back. Kitty will be getting the information himself. It's Chris has collapsed as well, importantly, bringing the car. So, again, it's pretty hard now to play this sort of west side. Yes, they've got a bit of high ground. Yes, they've got a bit of elevation. But the higher they go up there, the more exposed they got. And I think you're right. Ascend looking to take this little bowl away from Storm and Request.
Keely gets the nair on out. He spotted one of the players. The bounce would have been okay, but a little overcooked. The folded shield for Nosferatu would have likely kept him safe as well. They're playing the nade dance now, back and forth. That's also way overcooked. Coming back towards Keely. And this could delay for another bit. I said they would love to dislodge. Well, they might just find that they can not. Free side on the scent now. Maverick in the middle of absolutely nowhere. If Zero Swag on me has a nade, he doesn't. But the molly can still do the trick. If he just throws it into the car, that could already be enough. But oh, Maverick's actually on the backside. Okay, he does have a tiny bit of low ground to play with, I guess. It doesn't look survivable for very long, but he doesn't have to survive very long, because Zero Swag on me, he's not in zone.
Yeah, and that blue zone, that bounces quite a bit. I think he's eager to try and get the flush for me. I think stay calm, keep the fight, keep head to head at the moment, and you'll get them eventually. Oh. Nosferatu, though, sees multiple heads bobbing above the sand dunes, like meerkats of old. They've got to get the connection. The Sen know that they're exposed now. They have to drive their way forward. Rex leading the charge again. Takes some damage, though. That comes from the nade. Has to reposition now. And the rest of the guys get away from the util dump that's coming in from Storm and Request. But what a nade from Keely again.
Big nade from Keely. Breck's still alive as well. That's a follow-up bounce from Keely. Oh, sometimes. Oh, my God. Sometimes everything is just working in your way. Aniko picks up the last. That was a perfect bit of util, and now they have such a grasp on this circle mark. They have a beautiful ridge to play with. They know that they've already killed players of 888 on their west. If they don't get caught on the transition here because they're not ready for how deep 888 is, they should be in for a win here. They should be one of the teams that has a chance to take this away.
Such a crucial spot. Crucial spot to take from Ascend. 888 trying to go for a backfill here. He's going to try and work his way back, hold the angle, trying to divide off like we saw from them on Rondo. But they closed out that victory. Maybe didn't get the kills that they had in this game, but I think they're looking for that level of control one more time.
I think they honestly shot it too early there. I think Keely was going to go wide here if they gave him the chance, and they could have maybe blasted him in the open, maybe just popped his tire, got him stuck. There was a bit of an opportunity there, but shooting early does secure that Keely goes back, and 888 does keep their space, right? So that has its upsides as well. Question is, how much can they do with it when Send starts peeking over and starts realizing there ain't much pressure coming back, right? 888 smartly moving towards the compound, moving towards a team that doesn't have as much ground and as much information, especially on them. But I see a dark clouds in the future of, well, both ADR and 888 here.
There goes one. The clouds are blooming.
4 blue zones.
He has the rabbit ears up, mate. He's alert. He knows Havoc might be waiting. Needs to pop maybe another smoke just to confirm that he can get to that next bowl, and more importantly, get those blue zones into the middle. Cleared up. Not a problem. Great use of util from the smoke point of view, and now he's looking to stack these blue zones.
What I want to see here is throw one, let him start healing, and then throw the second. That's just the way to go. Now they hear the bounce, and now they get out the back, and they lose one kill in the process. But the shack is cleared, so the shack is something that Ascend can now take for themselves as well once they get the res onto Aniko. That should be fairly doable. But then I guess you gotta be a little worried about 888. You gotta make sure that they don't come your way. But they have set themselves up, and honestly, I just said take the shack. What if you just leave it up? What if PUBG Roo sends it over there, right? It says, okay, we can play the shack until the late game, and then Keely still has 2 more blue zones, right?
I think it's, well, you know, he's thrown 3, hasn't he? So he's only got the 1, I think.
Oh, he's thrown 3 at it? Okay.
I think there was 3 at that. Because 2 went to the right for us, and 1 went to the left. Okay. Chris has moved into the shack now, so he's looking for the angles now. PUBG RU are outside of zone. IM5 going to come in late, make sure that PUBG RU don't play the high ground. Be difficult for them to come here. Arguably not even because IM5's here, but it's Chris has the angle.
Yeah, and this is going to be disastrous. Whenever they have to come out from their walls, whenever they stand a little bit in the open, IM5's going to punish, and PUBG RU ain't really going anywhere. But, I mean, neither is 888. I think this is just... This is IM5 trying to play for as many kills as he can get before he's just forced away from the zone. Now, running away, maybe he spotted them nading, or he's just going for a bit of a tricky play, but it's going to pay off regardless, because they were absolutely blowing up his ridge here. If he would have stuck around, he might have found himself knocked. But they're going to try again, and they're going to find him.
Yeah, I think the only play that they've got is to try and climb this mountain, or this little hill. It's going to feel like a mountain for them.
And it's damn near
make it feel like a hillside. Yeah, he got the idea. He got a knock, though. Aniko, unfortunately, shoots the back of the head of Breck, so there's only one way to stop Ascending, that's to do it yourself. It's Chris, though, definitely holding the team on his shoulders, and as he sees them exit, stays left, he can start working his way down and causing some more problems, but that is a mountain to climb.
Yeah. It's an absolute mountain. It's the mountain from Game of Thrones. You don't want to mess with it. A few smokes can buy them a little bit of time, but I think they're firmly playing for second place here, and there should be nothing that could rattle Ascend enough. It's going to be an insane amount of knocks from Motic here, and even if he does the damage, even if he finds... I'd say even if he finds 2, I don't think this game's going anywhere for Ascend. Their positions are so strong. They've done all the work earlier, clearing out Storm on request, clearing out the shack, taking it for themselves. They are ready to reward themselves.
Play from using the smoke launcher. PUBG RU denying Chris that angle close to the hard cover, the shack. He's going to have to be a little bit more creative now as he swings on the outside. He now finds potential for 1. He does find another one here. 5 kills already for him. Looking to start another lineup though. And it's going to be Brex. Storms his way over. 1, 2, 3. Kitty finds himself, and it's a clean sweep. Ascend rise up. They will find a 27-point game, Kuro, and they came in today on 20 points. What a way to start day 2.
Or a way to bombard themselves up the standings as well. But don't forget, okay, before I start my Ascend rant and my fanboying, 888 so consistent. Again, a good game for them. I think they are the only team in the tournament with 4 or 5 good games at this point. So shout out to them. But I mean, that was the Ascend show, right? That was also the most classic Ascend ever. It's Chris Panzerfausting. Healy is hitting shots and getting like sneaky plays in onto both of those shacks, right? Clearing out both shacks, rewarding themselves with kills. And then last minute, Brex swoops in and just picks up 2 kills there with seemingly no effort whatsoever, right? That's also a classic Ascend. So love to see that. Love to see them get it going. They're a team we had our eyes on the entirety of the tournament, and they are now showing us why.
Good games, definitely for them. A lot is clear actually from Everlong. Very well done. More times, and then yeah, 888 back to that consistency approach. They have been really, really well fought over 5 games so far. Everlong unfortunately run out of time and run into Ascend. Ascend obviously continue to work their way through and taking that section away from Storm and Request. I feel like this was the section. Storm and Request had to maybe hunker more bodies this way, but they were just unable to unhinge Ascend's approach. And from the area, that's when they got the victory, and really, really well played. Boot camp, Kowo, clearly working.
Working out, and I love to see that they get aggressive here, right? They just run Storm on Request down. They make it quick. They don't waste any time. And we're not going to waste any of your time either, because we've got 3 more games to go. So we're going to hit you with a short break, and then we will be right back with Tego.
A new collaboration, movable death boxes, and some changes to Miramar. All this and more as we dive into the update 37.2 patch report. First up, the desert's about to heat up again with a visit from the iconic artist G-Dragon. You'll be able to find an emote stage on the starting island. Special G-Dragon map decor such as a decked out gas station and fan room, and other themed visuals such as planes, blue chip towers, and care packages. And be sure to head over to the G-Dragon truck stop to immerse yourself in the recreated Power music video set. Next up, we're improving the way you interact with some of the objects around the map. You'll now be able to reposition death boxes to get them to a safer location before looting, or use them to lure unsuspecting loot goblins to their demise. Doors can now be opened inward as well as outward, and all those gas tanks you've been wanting to shoot for years will now explode when you do so, leaving behind a large cloud of smoke to cover your movements. More details on where you can see these changes in the patch notes. And speaking of Miramar, the Minas Generalis area has gotten an overhaul this update as well. We've streamlined building layouts for more efficient looting, added more item spawn locations, simplified the terrain and structures, and balanced out the engagements between high and low ground in the area. There's also a new Survivor Pass, the return of Survivors Left Behind and Hungers Left Behind, some updates to Team Deathmatch and Intense Battle Royale, and more. So check out the patch notes for full details. Update 37.2 is here, so drop into Miramar, stack those death boxes high, and kick back with some G-Dragon hits. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Let's get ready. It's time to Tego. We only got time to let the countdown roll. Ascend rolling in game number 1. They're going to be rolling up that leaderboard. Game number 2, though, is Tego. We're in north-northeast down to a south-central. Observers cooking up a feast.
Is he cooking? Has he cooked
it?
it?
He's cooked. He's done, mate. Cooked. He's forgot it. 2 out of 2. Costas, let's go.
We're only seeing planes from the bottom today, but it is okay. The games are delivering. The observers trying his very hardest, and honestly, I mean, that as long as we see the shots, as long as we see the fights, I'm all for it. But
as long as he's smiling,
the sky is at the limit for our observer today.
I said, mate. I said, sky's the limit, mate. If the limit was there, he might hit the plane. Let's have a quick look at that leaderboard. As Ascend do rise up in Ascend fashion, now in second place with 47 points. Gio will drop down. Freeside is there. I think the biggest loss for me here is Redline. Redline were in fifth, contending, but with that early exit, it's allowed wasted, and PUBG RU just a leapfrog ahead.
Redline have to be happy that they got those 4 frags early, because otherwise they would be looking a lot worse on the leaderboard, right? They would be in 11th right now. So they got that for them, but they got a Palace hot drop coming up for them as well. So we'll see how they look here in a second. This can go one of 2 ways, and one of those 2 ways will look pretty good on the scoreboard, and the other won't at all. And oh my, that's an opener. That's almost a third. Woo!
It is a third.
Get
is
the
it
ace.
A fourth? Be like, no one push him. He's mine. He's waiting. He's going for the step back. Here comes the draw. Zico's going to try and draw the shots in. It's not an ace. Zico steals it away. But it's a clean sweep. Red line. Well, they need to hit the red line this game, because they do have to, as we say, make up, though, for their early loss in Miramar.
Good stuff. Good stuff for Redline. That immediately puts them back, right? That immediately puts them back towards the top there. 4 kills is absolutely massive. Remember, we're also playing the slightly updated format, so if you're looking at the leaderboard on Twire or something, that won't always be correct. The one that's correct is the one we are showing you on stream. So we are playing with the slightly less basement points, basically super V2. Slight emphasis on kills, slight emphasis on winning, because 10 points are still what you get for the win. So, gotta be exciting. Right now, Ascend and 888 are favorites, but there's still 3 more games, and I mean, we've just seen in the last one what a single game can do, right?
Yeah. Single game could be victorious. Playing Pop does go slightly earlier.
There you go, production.
So, yeah, we had half-price chicken dinner for part of the year, which was great fun. It was very chaotic. We're kind of in this, as you say, the V2, where a win goes back to 10 points, which is a great second for 5, and as you can see, it work its way down. Obviously, we're looking fundamentally from 6. The big change is 8th and 7th are not getting points anymore, and obviously the drop down from above as well. So, good play. Well done, production, and quick on the trigger on the graphics.
I'm even down to look at the leaderboard for another second, because we were so busy just getting ready for that hot drop, right? At least I was just yapping about the hot drop and keeping an eye on Slide. They're in the south. I'm not sure if they were hot dropping, but yeah, 48 and 47 in first and second. They got a bit of a buffer. That's 20 points to 5th, right? That's a good buffer. That's a good solid buffer, but that is still 1 game. I'll keep my eye on them. I wouldn't even be surprised, Mark, if this top 4 doesn't change anymore, but that will only happen if they all continue performing, if they all continue playing well, because the teams at the bottom are not going to be sleeping.
Well, for me, I'm with you. I get the logic, right? 888 consistent. I think we're playing for a top 3 today. I'll be honest with you. I think if Ascend continue being aggressive, then we're playing for a top 2. Bushido's 50-50. Bushido came in late yesterday. Not the best start. Like today for them, are they going to leave it to the last game? Big question mark there for me. And Freeside again, for me, are a team that needs to play kind of this mid-pack. They need to play slightly aggressive. And what I saw from game number 1, north rotation, trying to avoid the danger, trying to get into the game, that doesn't feel like them, right? So I think there are hungrier teams. So I'm with you with 888. I'm kind of with you with Ascend, which then worries me, because we're looking for potentially 2 more teams to go through. And look at this, Freeside come out to a compound, they second guess it, they second guess it, we know it's the right decision, but they turn around. They're playing passive. This is not what I want to see, especially with Redline's already got 4 kills and they're already biting on the heels.
Well, I'm not sure if they're going to second guess this one, because they might just be blasting into this one. Kilawi fires off a few pot shots, but that is not scaring anyone away, Kilawi. That's just telling everybody you're alone here. Yeah, they're flying in, they drive by, and there it is. They listen to Mark Power, and they shall be rewarded. First kill, first compound. I don't think they even lose a tire for it. Well done, Freeside.
But again, this is the Freeside we used to watch him, right? They were always aggressive. Yeah, they came up short, but throughout this whole year, we've seen them just get get them better. I hate to use the word consistently better, but they have got better event by event, and they've been starting to become this kind of, again, household name in the TPP circuit. So they even hit and run. This wasn't even the compound they wanted. Like to see, keep trying to get some kills.
Yeah, I mean, feels bad for Kilawi just getting caught like that there, but it's a little bit on him as well. I think he shot 2 bullets from the Scar, then got in his car to drive away, and then got back out again, right? He was doing exactly what you were talking about. He was doubting himself. He wasn't sure which was the correct approach. And a lot of the time, it's better to do the wrong thing than to do nothing, right? And committing there, maybe hiding or shooting early, or getting the hell out of there, both would have been valid decisions. But he ends up doing neither of the two, and that just gets him caught, especially now. I think in 2025, when you're just shooting off single shots with the Scar L, that's not telling people you're there. That's telling people you're alone, right? And everybody, even now, like, if you watch POV streams from pro players in tournaments, and they'll hear a single DMR shooting in a compound, they'll often not say, that's taken. They say, there's one guy in there, and he's shooting the air. Like, there's probably a solo. And you got to be careful with the signals you're sending. Kilawi was, I feel like, basically telling people to crash him.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're waiting for these teams to sort of position themselves up. That obviously zone has the river, so expecting maybe a north shift for me. But I want to talk back about some of these other teams. PUBG RU, they got some big positions there. They're now in 6th. And 180R, a little bit of a late run. They are working up the leaderboard as well. Can you see these two teams like driving forward, or do we feel like it's still a bit more of a hit and miss? Because 180R still in 11th, but they're on 23 points. So they're not out the conversation, I feel.
I don't think they are. I think for me, 180R is much more in the conversation that a PUBG RU is. I think PUBG RU has been looking surprisingly solid, and they've converted some of the good positions they've gotten. Hold that thought, because that is a lot of early aggression here. Slide and Havoc are absolutely sliding into each other. That's not looking pretty. Flush is coming on through. They're bleeding numbers, but again, this is going to go both ways. Both of these teams are going to suffer here.
The angle Slide have got, they've just gotten pinned in. Yes, they've got the opening. Yes, they've got that confirmation. But Slide have a huge grip hold. Here comes the util dump. Nade will bounce nicely. Hasn't cooked it too much, so it looks like it's going to be a bit of an evac here. And Slide, again, a team looking to try and slide their way up. The nade gets a kill and confirm. And unfortunately, for the final player for them, a little bit too far afield. Maybe gets the opportunity to isolate Shin, but as it stands, he's got the cover of the rock.
It's a messy fight, and I think it's one of those fights where you would expect to get third partied at some point. So you gotta not commit too long. If things aren't going well, you gotta get out of there. And Unbelief is trying to do just that. Slide might find themselves under the eyes of the internet heroes here in a bit. Yeah, they're still looking for the flushes. Sinker Pow Pow was the one. I think he was driving through the smokes trying to get the flushes. Now you might have to get away, and some of these points might even escape them. Wouldn't be the best outcome, but there is one and there's two. Okay, they're picking up the points at least. They gotta be a bit worried though. They gotta not stick around too long when they don't have control over the area.
Yeah, I'm with you. Wait and see. Third party action. There are only 3 more maps, including this one, left of today. So 3 more opportunities. These teams get these confirmations. And I do feel like, as we said before, every point is going to matter. We are only taking a top 4. If you only have just joined in, top 4 is the final 4 slots that are going to join us to Masters Last Chance before we get to decide our top 8 that will be going through to Masters West, the final TPP event that will be in our side of the region. A couple of other teams moved their way in. A few emergency pickups have been popped. Ascend, they've rotated their way all around that north side. Havoc tab out. And they're going for, again, a big split. Looking to close out these bridges, I think, is key. And it's looking like they're being aggressive one more time.
2 seconds until we pop that circle in. And we are going to the triangle of absolute doom there where Ascend is. We are going towards a bit of water. Ascend's got to reinforce here very quickly. Oh, I love it. I love it. Chris is taking the shots early, but Timchik and the rest of the squad are not scared at all. They're sending it either way. They're not leaving any space in this. And Ascend will immediately have to fall away. Well done. Yeah, it's right. It's for us on the map. It's so obvious. For them, they're driving across a bridge that is being camped, right? So that is not the easiest decision to make. But well done to not waste any time, to not doubt themselves, to immediately go for it.
I feel like this is one of my favourite positions, especially with these zones, that kind of position we saw it's Chris's. But the fact they've left the player behind, keeping an overwatch as well, is such an easy bridge to hold people out on. And we've seen this kind of transition, especially from what I've seen, is that teams were like, oh, they're second guessing, they stay on the other side. Sometimes that W key down and full send, you can bully people away from that position. Now, it's Chris, has done the right thing. He's backed away. He put himself back in that compound. Again, they'll be looking towards that direction, expecting another crash as well. So be intrigued to kind of keep an eye on how Ascend move and how they kind of react to that one, because we've got a lot of high ground here. An argument to shift towards that sort of high ground can keep an overwatch, but we have 14 teams here looking for space, and we have arguably an ample amount of water in and some cars sliding their way down to victory. April has to dance the dance. He's able to get a smoke off. Lays up. Shark in the water will circle the prey to try and go for the pickup. Mindset will click drive. He comes off the roof.
Gotta try and get April out of there. Saving Private April. We're 8 at 8 right now. Should be fine if he does get 1 or 2 more smokes out. Very defensive stuff actually from Blazer to not be going for that res now with multiple smokes deployed. He's gonna make him run this? That is actually... That's not teammate of the month, at least. Ascend, meanwhile...
What are you talking about? Come on, he put the car on the roof. He has to make up for that. That's his fault.
Well, there's different ways to look at it. Ascent, meanwhile, have 4-man grouped in the compound, by the way. They have realized that this is something they have to hold down, and they need this for the late game. So again, playing solidly as for keeping it simple. It's been working for them.
Has been working for them. Storm and Request have also been working at running each other over. Now they have got the player back up, so back to safety. Doritos will fall from the sky in a good position now to hold a difficult position, especially a little bit early. We expect these teams to kind of shift their way up. We are going to have to lose the water, and we have seen so many of these kind of endings just sort of south where Bushido are. So teams like Bushido, Ascend, they've all got to kind of climb this high ground. So be intrigued to see where it goes. 34 seconds before we do see a phase at number 3 at the moment. And again, we see more of these lines in the sky. Red line popped an emergency pickup. Looking to try and wait for that zone to clear them. But they'll be one of the teams potentially in the first rotation. There's not a lot of space left.
It's great stuff for Bushido as well. They're just rotating in super late on that eastern side, and it allows them to get that drop, to get that easy approach from the east. P93 gear. They're ready for the circle. I said they're ready for the circle. It's a gruesome one. It's the worst shift for both teams at the north, obviously. It's the only shift that goes bad, but hello. Zero swag on me with the C4 breach. You hate to see it if you're Crash C.
Yep. Do you know what? I've never seen this shift go this far down for this one. Seen so many go towards the north, and I think a lot of players come through. Vampire strikes back. Good kill confirmed, breaching the compound as well. Obviously with that breach, they are down players, so it's going in their favour. He swaps over. I thought that was a blue zone for some part of me, which wouldn't have worked out. The smoke will play a favour. Vampire repositions as well. Nades come over the top, does the damage. Now has to get off the roof.
Well done to get off the roof. We see players overstay on these roofs so many times. Look how many nades will come in at that roof immediately. Not a lot of HP to work with though. He does get the first hit in. That nade will close him out. And just like that, round 32 enjoyer. Last one up for the squad. 1v3 now. The C4 breach has absolutely worked flawlessly for the Internet Heroes. Gimperton doesn't have to force this 1v1. He can take his time here. The longer he waits, the more of his teammates will be sticking around. And there it is. Vampire runs it down. Good flash, however. Gets him the first. 1v2 now, but a P90 around the sides. Yep. There it is. P90 strikes again. Presley's out.
Up to 24 points. It's from that top side of the right table. So, again, third party action. Going to see a lot more of this the further we get into this evening as well. Wasted hit. Just finds himself pretty close towards red line. Who's applying pressure on towards Storm and Request. So, again, third party backfield. Great money. The fire will roll down. Ivis in a bad position. He's under duration. Off the fire, the blue zone will cause the issue, and Where the hell? That mortar fire's coming from Freeside. Gets a knock. High eye in the sky. Looking to get more of a confirmation. They've got two. Sorry, I'm crazy's now in the mortar as well.
Yeah. He connects one more here. Doesn't only blow up the car, but he does take the 2 frags with him. Storming Request in a tricky spot. So is Ascend on top there. Ascend. Oh, there it is. See you later. 2 knocks in the smoke. 2 players standing to try and deal with it, but multiple teams encroaching on Storming Request. They should get torn to shreds here, but maybe everybody's just gonna look over their shoulder and shoot each other. There is a world where they can reset at least parts of this.
This is chaos. Real chaos over here. Eventually, evacuation of the BRDM will arrive. That's now stuck, if I'm honest with you. We're getting opportunities now to sort of pop a red line do go down. Ascend are sitting on that sort of north side here. We do have the likes of Bushido, which have played out to the outside edge. A really good play for them. They were on the side of that mountain. They went to the outside edge. They want to try and wait this one out and try and follow the zone back down. And that is a shocking shift. Again, we went south. Now we're going southeast. 888 are loving it as they are living a 2-2 split dream.
They're loving it. They're getting fed a little bit here. You gotta take those when they come your way. Ascent, meanwhile, under fire from Bushido, who's also had to reposition, but not as punished as Ascend. And you can see Ascend wants to clean out their side of the zone before they want to move. They want to lock in a few points because the circles are just not giving them much to work with. The Internet Heroes, they might be looking at a re-breach, but they're picking up the first one, and the breach is so disjointed. They're going to have time to reset, they're going to have time to get the util out, and they're going to prepare themselves for what is honestly a rough crash from PUBG RU.
Oh, he was sliding into that crash as he pulls up. That one goes down, fair play. Shots coming over. Also, shots coming in from the anchor player. Car's going to go. I don't know if he's actually heard it. He's cooking that nade back. They bounce nicely, though, right onto the foot. He needs to move forward. The nade gets him. Wave 441. Puts it in. Makes a difference. And now comes the anchor player. PUBG RU trying to survive. And Vampire, playing Vampire Diaries well out in the blue. Now has to try and get as close as they can to ensure that it can keep Miss Your Voice alive.
I love it, by the way. PUBG RU just realizing these guys, they've lost a player, and they've got one player rezzing in the blue. They're literally a duo. We're pulling up. I love the decision-making there. Good decision-making as well from the boys in Empty Blank. They're realizing Chris is alone, and they don't let him bully. But Aniko is there to at least get one back. Wants to confirm this. Again, every single point is massive for Ascent here because the circle's been cruel to them. They don't know where they're going yet. They don't know what kind of chances they have. They want to lock in every single point they can get, and that's a second for Keely. If they can lock in the 4 kill points here on their edge and then make a send that probably costs them the rest of the game, they're going to be happy about that.
Yeah, that's a good play. They've now identified everyone. He does go down. Got to obviously get grabbed up. Freeside looking to try and deny Ascend now as they now move into a position to close them out. Rex can try and gain as many points as he can, but he will fall. Aniko, final player now. 3, looking for number 4. That util should convert. The first one. Yeah, no, actually goes down towards the zone. But look at Freeside's position. They saw this. They know where Ascend are, and now they are locking and closing the door.
Yeah, and I think he's got to commit to the first aid. He doesn't have any other choice. He cannot go for a fight. He does have to heal, and might stand up and try for a spray through the bush. Might try for a reposition. That gets him to safety for first aids. He's got a whole lot more bodies to loot as well. So once Freeside shifts more into zone, he can go back up and get himself the first aids of all his fallen comrades and enemies there. So he can salvage maybe another point or 2, and that would already be pretty good for Ascend. Because I do believe that Freeside is never letting them in here.
No. There we go. No breach. Wouldn't be surprised I got a C4. It has. Bounced off the wall. 4AS. Get a knock. They're on the split. They're going to try and hold. Wasted. On looking on that west. They're going to launch a lot more util down. It's going to be a bouncy blue zone. We'll get the connection. 888 still sitting firm in zone. And we are bleeding teams early at the moment. And I think part and parcel of this, everybody is looking for positions. Apart from Zero Swag. He's airborne. He's looking for some loot.
Chilling. Hanging out.
He's down though.
It's, I'm not sure for how long. I'm not sure if he's just not been noticed. There's a chance, but he's out of zone either way. Aniko got himself double-digit first hits, by the way. I just had a quick check. He is looted up for this, but I'm not even sure if that's enough, right? Remember, we did change the point system slightly. You're not longer in placements on 8th place. You're in placements on 6th, right? So for him, getting a kill might even be more realistic than to get into placements, especially when there's more players doing what he's doing, right? I don't know if you've caught it on the map, but ADR has a player in the blue as well that's trying to do the same thing, just playing for placement. It's a tricky game to play, and there it is. Freeside still waiting, still hanging around. Catches Aniko, ascend out in 9th. 4 points is all she wrote for them.
I was about to say, like, I know they've sent some bodies in, Koro, but I just couldn't see a world that Freeside would let Ascend out. Like, even if committing a body just to deny Ascend, like, that's your team that you're chasing down. That's the team that you want to try and leapfrog here. And if you can get them out of the game, yes, they've got a handful of kills, they've got no placement, you're surviving now, and arguably now you have the high ground. Can you sweep in and clear up as many kills as you can on the west before challenging 888, who's been consistent all the time in the compound on the east?
Yeah. It does make sense. They know what the leaderboard situation is, right? They know that's direct competition, and that's great to take out. ADR, that was the other blue healer, also now taken out, which means we are down to 7 teams. We are closing in on placement points here in just a short while. 0 swag on me. Car doesn't start for him in time, and just like that, he's out of the picture as well. Kilawi, remember, he was probably the first to die in this game. He did get rezzed. He tries for the spray, and the solos are falling like flies. 5 teams left. All of the solos out of the picture, and we are moving into a late game with a lot of strong teams.
Yeah, well, we've got Wasted with 4, Freestyle with 4, 888 with 4, Bushido with 4. So again, all strong teams number-wise. Obviously, Slide, unfortunately, are down bodies. They're down to a 3, nearly taken to a 2. Oh,
he just knocked him.
2. Oh my days, scrap that. They're sliding out. This is terrible. Absolutely bamboozled. Scared about the zone and run straight into the car.
Immediately flush as well, and I think that is probably a bit of a bad signal to be sending at everybody around you as well. They were already being hunted by Bushido here. They already had Wasted here trying to close out their space. Now all of those teams know you're being down under the number, right? Down under the body. You hate to see it. Freeside has to work through something here. They could just play passive in the north, but I think they're going to try and work as much as they can against Wasted here to make their approach easier, while Bushido is trying to get inside of the compound. Blue zone galore. Smokes are coming out. There's Panzers on the other side. It's an absolute war zone here.
He's just running around. Every time he turns around, he sees another blue zone. Now he's going to follow the bubble back. Is this going to hit? It is Panzer on Panzer. P90 on one side. Missed the one. P90 doesn't hit the connections that want to initiate, but does get him down eventually. Oh, it could be there. Again, information now being gained. 888 down to the final player. Will launch out a nade one side. Panzer though comes through.
Bonk.
And when you look down the barrel of a Panzer, you're pretty much confirmed an 888 full in 5th place. Freeside also backfilling this compound.
It's great news for everybody that wants a close tournament, right? That is the 3rd and the 4th place popping off, while the 1st and the 2nd place are falling out. So it's going to get even more stacked here. All we need now is Wasted here winning the game. I don't know how likely that is, but it's absolutely possible. With Freeside moving down, they've given up the entire high ground. I mean, that would be, honestly, I think we just see 5 teams on 50 points, if that's what's happening here. So that would be the most, possibly the most exciting end game we could ever see.
I mean, as well, I generally feel like as well, Freeside versus Bushido, especially if it plays back towards that sort of west as well. Yeah, they're in a difficult spot to try and hold, but this little bowl keeps them just out of eyesight. And Bushido have to lock heads now with Freeside.
Yeah, it's enough space. It's a good amount of real estate, some would say, here for Wasted here. Again, they're going to be chilling on that western side. They can get themselves even more space towards the north here. If not, they can just check it out. They have time now to cruise around there. And you can see Freeside is realizing this immediately, that they won't want to give up all of the space. They want to keep some of it. They're going to get back up to the dirt road. But that is easily contested here. That is easily contested for Wasted here, because they have all the numbers that they ever want over here. So even if Sorry I'm Crazy lives for now, Wasted here could just bully him out completely. They could just take a 3v1 on top there, just to make sure that they are keeping that space and they're not letting another team in.
I'm surprised they've not
he's gotta get
played
the nade.
into it as well. Like, for the rest of Freeside, like, he's under fire. There comes the nade. Oh my god, shield goes one way, car goes the other way, and he's left packing in the abyss. There's one, the flush gets stolen away. How unfortunate is that? Shield goes one way, car goes flying down the hill.
Well placed, Nate. Mossbot gets sat down by a Lynx. He now knows, okay, there's a Lynx on that side of the map. We are not going to be peeking that as much as we would want to, as they will try and just get the car into place, get the cover going. And we are going to go down to a phase 7 that's still west of the road, and very likely a star that ends close to the road at least. So get yourself ready for a lot of calm before a very exciting storm.
Every time you say that, it gets chaotic. Bushido has 6 bullets left in the Lynx, but he has the bodies up. 1 additional to play, so wait and see. He's keeping a very firm eye now on Freeside. That move towards that sort of northwest didn't quite work out for them, and now they maybe draw their attention back onto Wasted, leaving Freeside on that position. Knock here would be catastrophic. Wasted collapse down. Oh, and gets away with it just.
Celtic's on 2 drop guns. He's just playing Lynx P90. That man
now
is
he's repaired his vest.
Yeah, that man is just the juggernaut of the team. 3 gear for him, 3 gear for a teammate as well. You remember when we talked about them early game where they got themselves that free drop that Ascent couldn't go for because they had to contest the bridge? They're still just feeding off of that. They're still using the gear from that, and it's actually pretty crazy how much that does for them. How much pressure does a Lynx like that put out, right? How much pressure in the late game, how much danger is a P90 in the late game, right? So realizing very early they can go for that drop has paid off massively for Bushido.
That's your point, though. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all duking out at the moment. We've wasted the currently in 5th, Freeside on 4th, and Bushido in 3rd. This is a crucial game. So after this, we'll be at the halfway point of today. But after that, we only have 2 more maps, though, before we close out our best of 8. So each one of these teams might be eager and itching to secure the win. I know Freeside are down a body and now pretty much down zone as well. But a win here might separate the gap. Fortunately for Freeside, one of the teams that is chasing down Bushido. When you see Bushido with the compound store in, they've got nowhere else to go.
There's a world, though, where Freeside starts smoking up to the compound, and when the first 3 knocks come out, if Freeside gets a single one with all the nades they only got 4, but it is something to work with. If they get any sort of opener, we might see a collapse, right? We might see Wasted getting involved as well, because if you're looking at the map, Wasted doesn't have a ton to play anymore. They can just sort of still barely be in on that hillside. So if Wasted just wait around and let Freeside get swept here, I think they're going to have an incredibly hard late game. So maybe they do go for the winning play if Freeside can find an opener. If Freeside just gets destroyed here, then there's no way Wasted gets in.
There is a world that if the fight doesn't start, they can backfill Bushido as well. But that's not what you need. Opening knock will come in. Akin will go down. They've got to now get that position here. Freeside trying to leapfrog on that, though. But they're taking heavy hits. But it comes back the adjacent side.
The opener
does get a nade, though. That is an opening, but they've got to go. They've taken damage. Now the gas will go as well. Down bodies. Bushido will hold. Wasted need to get involved.
They already lost one of their members, so that's going to sting. But at least Crossberg is knocked to his feet. At least there's a world now where this can work.
Play.
Mid debate. He barely survived that nade, and now Celtic, well, he's cleaning this up with a P90. He's about to dip over another time. He can even jump shot it if he wants to, because he's almost fully accurate. No way you lose that with a P90, ever. And Wasted here have wasted their chance, I believe. This is going to be a full reset for Bushido. It's a 3v3, but there's, I think, almost no space for Wasted. It's a big opener, though. It's the player on the roof down. Maybe this is now go time?
Go. Like, how many smokes they got? Like, there's no smokes there. There's 3 remain. Like, they've popped out a few. They've got deployable cover, now going in what they believe to be the center of the zone. Nearly run over each other again. More deployable cover. That Lynx is barely surviving. That P90 is causing the damage, but they put themselves in molly range. Good shot. Actually does shoot
Oh,
the
shot
molly,
it out of the air.
which is huge. That was going to be, unfortunately, an underpin. That nade bounces just away, but what a shot on that molly.
4 nades. 4 nades. And I think they're just freshly res nail cop there. Mossbot should be blowing up anytime soon here. There's the first one doing the damage. Does he have anything to dip in? Does he have any smokes, any deployable cover?
Oh my
That's
God,
his
the
car
car's
blowing up.
flipped.
And just like that, yeah, it was always going to be rough. They didn't want to take the chance too early. Now they don't have cover, and they're walking into Bushido with just a massive arsenal of tools. While Wasted here only has the deployable cover to work.
Yeah, they've already used the smokes. Let's try and dig out, though. 10 kills here for Bushido. And towards the blue zone is a 3 versus 2. There is a world that could still happen, but the blue zone is going to start now pushing Wasted.
That's GG.
Out of their way. And it's all going to come down from a knock, but...
Celtic gets a double.
Done. 1 and 2, I think it's going to happen. Flashes might help, but he's still running the open.
He's whiffing. He's whiffing. He's making this possible. The trades are there. It's a 2v1. And they're up against the blue now. Celtic has not connected with the P90 there at all.
Oh.
But the blue zone does the rest. Waiting it out is Bushido. 11 kill win. That was a weird little end game. A weird little phase 9 to close out. But they do it in the end. And honestly, what won them the game was that crazy push towards 88.
Like, let's just break that down. I'm still trying to understand why Wasted didn't crash in. Like, for me, that was their only play. They're running out of zone. Maybe trying to hold and get the knocks either side. Either or, looking at more of an aggressive push at the end. Might have steered them in a higher end, but second place, good amount of kills. She'd obviously do win it out, though. And yeah, back to your point, that's when they sort of played on that 888 compound. They held that sort of east for so long, and then they played into it. I think that was the winning move, though, for Bushido.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it was clean from Bushido. It's just, for us, it seemed clear that the chance Wasted has is get the third party going, right? Because as soon as you're in a 3v3 or 3v4 versus the compound, it's just going to be, like, the compound is just an unfair tool in that scenario because you're using all your resources, all your smokes, your cars, your deployable cover, to try and get anything in safety. While Bushido is just hanging around on roofs with high ground, just blasting it down. So, close. Solid game for Wasted here. Solid game for Freeside. In the end, it's Bushido who walks away with it. And again, I think that's them putting themselves into first place here, just immediately closing that gap that Ascend and 888 had just built.
Yeah.
We're looking at I think a 5-horse race here for the top 4 at the moment.
Yeah, potentially. We're saying about 888 potentially going up there a little bit higher on, but 3rd, 4th, and 5th duking it out, though, on the 2nd. Let's take a quick break, though, because we know these guys and girls want to get straight back into the lobby, though. It'd be time for Rondo. Don't go anywhere. See you guys in a few.
Still alive. Just eviscerate the team just like that. They have taken the game.
About these events like the PUBG Hot Drop 2025 that we just had is simply just meeting all of these amazing people.
PUBG for putting on this amazing event. It's been so much fun. It's been so great getting to chat to the devs, getting to see everyone playing games and having so much fun. Thanks to all the team that's put it together.
It's great to be here. I can only say to other PUBG players, come here next year.
new collaboration, movable death boxes, and some changes to Miramar. All this and more as we dive into the update 37.2 patch report. First up, the desert's about to heat up again with a visit from the iconic artist G-Dragon. You'll be able to find an emote stage on the starting island. Special G-Dragon map decor such as a decked out gas station and fan room, and other themed visuals such as planes, blue chip towers, and care packages. And be sure to head over to the G-Dragon truck stop to immerse yourself in the recreated Power music video set. Next up, we're improving the way you interact with some of the objects around the map. You'll now be able to reposition death boxes to get them to a safer location before looting, or use them to lure unsuspecting loot goblins to their demise. Doors can now be opened inward as well as outward, and all those gas tanks you've been wanting to shoot for years will now explode when you do so, leaving behind a large cloud of smoke to cover your movements. More details on where you can see these changes in the patch notes. And speaking of Miramar, the Minas Generalis area has gotten an overhaul this update as well. We've streamlined building layouts for more efficient looting, added more item spawn locations, simplified the terrain and structures, and balanced out the engagements between high and low ground in the area. There's also a new Survivor Pass, the return of Survivors Left Behind and Hungers Left Behind, some updates to Team Deathmatch and Intense Battle Royale, and more. So check out the patch notes for full details. Update 37.2 is here, so drop into Miramar, stack those death boxes high, and kick back with some G-Dragon hits. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
It's time, unfortunately, to Rondo. But only 2 games are left, which means 2 more opportunities for these teams to get points on the board, Koro. That game had a big impact for some people on the leaderboard. For everyone else, they've been squished together, though. As we still look for that top 4, everlasting fight is going to be key. Bushido, as you said before we closed out, really putting themselves now on top.
Let's have a look at the leaderboard because it does really matter now, right? I say this every time at the start of the tournament. After game 2, we can look at the leaderboard, but it's not super relevant. Now it is all the more relevant. Bushido on 57, pushing them past everyone. Wasted here, falling short on 42. If Wasted here would have won that game, if they would have managed to clutch that, then we would just have all these top 5 teams on 50 points essentially. Now we have Bushido a little bit ahead and Wasted here a little bit behind, but we have a 5-team pack that is 10 points ahead of Redline and a little bit more even from the rest of the lobby. The rest of the lobby is insanely close, by the way. Redline all the way down to Angry Sense is still just 12 points. It's crazy stuff. But we have right now, I'd say 5 teams that are in a pole position and they don't even need a big game to keep themselves in the top 4, right? They just have to stay consistent.
Stay consistent. Let's see if our observer can stay consistent and find the plane. As he does go the whole way. I think he's overcooked it. Yeah, he did just. He should have taken the early bridge. I'll give him that one. That's a 2-1. He found it in the end. Playing path though is the northeast down towards a south central. I want to go back to the topic though before we get the hot drops. You know we are. Okay, there's a world that we're losing some teams on the right hand side. Havoc, I think, is arguably out.
Yeah.
At this point, right? There is a world though. Some of these teams that are on 20 points. A good game with a big number of kills, which we have already seen happen, could maybe put them in the high 30s, potentially into the 40s, and going into the last game could be big. But they need to do it this game. If they don't do it this game here, Kara, I think we're going to say goodbye and good night to some more of these teams on the right.
I think if you're on the right and you win the game, you're in. That's how simple it is, right? You want to win a game. ADR wants to win a game. 25 points, you win a game, you're up to slightly above 40 probably, and you're in for a banger. If you're on the left, a win puts you in pole position, prime position to get that top 4. So they have worked for slightly different different positions now when it comes to the last games, but everything is still up for grabs. And if you're in that top 4, I mean, you can't sleep either, right? You've just seen how quick it is to drop. 8-8, the first game where they really dropped the ball, immediately passed. But by two teams, right? It gets very, very sticky very quickly. And if you see a team like a Red Line or a Wasted here putting up points, you know that you've got to play your cards right because it is still incredibly contested.
Tempting, but we're going to get a Jaden City. Well, for now, we'll go back towards slight push on the hot drop. We had this yesterday. Crashing in with PUBG. Are you to try and find that position? Looking for the higher grounds, which will provide the cover. For PUBG, are you? I'm just waiting this one out. There's 12k in hand. It's going to have a big impact, especially if you start seeing those shots on the roof.
It's a dangerous topic. These Danqing hot drops, especially for our observers, because you tend to get stuck here for a full 10 minutes while the rest of the game is unfolding for everybody else. And our observer is already ready. He's already seen 30 seconds of a non-moving shotgun, right? Like, it gives you a bit of a taste of what to expect here. And it is, unfortunately, in this city, with how intricate the angles are, it is not great to be hot dropping. It is very punishable if you're the one making moves. And you can see Wave 404, he's just waiting for Stippy to step in a little too far, just a little bit too far, and he would get punished. So it invites a very passive playstyle.
It does. Wait and see. Again, it's part of this Danchin that you obviously I love it. I'm a sucker for this one. I like the hot drop here, right? But this town is kind of divided 2, maybe 2.5, where you kind of got these front lines that you see people hold off from a hot drop. Looks like the guys might be opting just to leave because there is a commitment. There is a line that these teams have to commit over, and unfortunately, on the TPP circuit, that line is a lot more punishing.
Yeah. Internet Heroes, by the way, they were in the kill feed already picking up, I think, the first kill of the game. In an early prior compound, they were there first. Pick themselves up a freebie onto Havoc. Starts the game in a nice manner for them. Redline now might be stumbling into something here. And oh no, Karex, he doesn't know what he's getting into, and he's getting out of it as quickly as he got in. Just pulled up to the wrong neighborhood, man. That's how it goes sometimes. Redline, a team that's still contending for top 4. Terrible start for them.
It's not a good start. Not a good start. They obviously need the bodies up, right? As will throw its way down.
Hello.
Or knock themselves and need to get their body picked up before the third party action comes in. But we'll find the safety of the compound.
Safety of the compound, but Abyss World is now mighty alone as he's cruising on forward. Again, shots that come out so early here. Nobody's ratting this. It's weird. When TPP came out, we saw everybody ratting all the compounds. And now, all of a sudden, everybody's just shooting so early. Nobody wants to get involved in a scrappy fight. Rather keep their own compound, keep their own space, and oh no, Crash C, they've pulled up to the wrong neighborhood as well.
I feel like, you go back to your point, like with the TPP stuff, everyone's expected it to be kind of more passive. I might argue say it's been a lot more aggressive. People with massive amounts of pull-ups, so Crash, going to try and be careful. One body remains. Going to try and pick as much as they can. A lot of these steals are coming through. Ever long, been ever long waiting to try and get their confirmation. And now he has to draw the line, can hear the footsteps. They are getting the res now, looking to try and drive his way in, but no first aids, no energy drinks, and more importantly, no utility.
He's biding his time now. Just hoping he doesn't get third partied, right? Hoping nobody's popping him from the back. He's got to get a freebie. Make this a 1v2, right? Make this possible, but it almost feels like Saint has heard him. It almost feels like he's heard those little pit-patter steps, and yeah, he has. Flash comes out. The push comes out. The push can't be coming out. That's a terrible push, but they are all there and ready. Team play is on fleek. Just like that, Crash C. Sit out game number 7.
It's aggressive. For those that don't know, the zone is down in the southeast corner. There's a lot of water. Obviously, Gen Z is in. Likely that we go there. Unlikely. I've seen it actually in north once, and since Rondo has been out, but a lot of these teams avoiding it. We even see Bushido leaving towards the other side of the water, so we can now see them taking shots on towards slide. More crashes coming in. The heroes have to hold, and sometimes heroes have to play by themselves.
Pressure mountain. A little bit of long-range support is coming in, though, especially the information that it gets him. Makes this all a bit more manageable, and there's more angles, and what an angle is that? That is a Lynx coming into play. We have a Nations Cup level 3 helmet there as well. Love to see that. The Internet Heroes are supporting, even if it is from range.
Do you know the team that is representing?
God. A red helmet?
Team Germany.
1 out of the 17 red helmets?
No, I think it's Team Germany. Just the yellow on the side.
That was red and black.
Yeah, but they had the red, black, and yellow. And the yellow was on the front. I think it could be a German helmet, maybe.
If I am not hallucinating, then this is no way a German one. But the problem is there's 15 red ones. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what that one was representing. But I think it was red and black. And even just now putting myself to think about it, I'm clueless.
I think it's either Canada or Germany.
Was Canada the red and black one? Were they not red and white?
They would no. Canada were just straight black with the red stripes.
That is not a Germany helmet, Mark. Come on now.
That's the Canadian one. That's the Canadian one.
Yeah,
Give us a swing round. That's the Canadian one. There you go. The Germany one was like that, but it had 2 yellow stripes halfway down the ear.
The German one was black with a little bit of yellow. This one is like... This one's red and black almost entirely.
I was there, mate. I was there. I loved them. I got to try them on, right? And actually, the Germany one was one of my favourite ones. Like with that little yellow splash, it was nice. Mate. It was nice.
Also, because you could tell which one it was, so that's always it's always a good feature. But yeah, Canada one, Canada represent whatever went on there. The man ended up with a Canada helmet, so that's good to see. I don't think I ever figured out what was China, what was Canada, what was all the other countries with
China
red
was
and white.
Red and gold. Vietnam was just straight up red, and it was like Denmark was red and white. Norway was red and white.
Japan red and white.
Yep.
I don't know. Everything was red and white. Indonesia red and white. I was just lost in the sauce. But there's a red and white team here. There's Redline here. They're camping the bridge. That's my transition to the game again, because Ascend are a team we need to be looking out for. They are currently 2nd or 3rd, I'm not quite sure, and they are under pressure here.
At the moment, 50 points where Ascend are. Freeside on 46.
Oh, Zeko.
Okay, we'll get one. Chris gets that confirmation. Ivis has to try and duck down to cover, but Brex gets to cover first. And now, Redline. It was a good start. I feel like day 2 is just slipping away.
Oh man, this is such a classic. It hurts to see. It's Zeko, the man's been trying, but he's a little more in the boomer territory like we are, and you can just see it sometimes on the shots there. Gets completely run over. Slavin gets himself one, but does get traded out, and Ascend are just sharper on the shots there. Punish Redline, pick up 3 points that they love to be picking up. Karks is just reviving into this. He does not have no gun, no armor, no equipment, no car, and no teammates.
Right, and he hasn't got zone either. Zone shifts away back towards that sort of north side. Again, we've got the river dividing. Expectation, we're going to go west again. And Chin still in the eyes. There's a lot of high ground, obviously, in the bottom. But we have seen a lot of enders sort of work back their way down towards the south as well. So we've still got a random zone in. So definitely one to watch. Send, so retracting their way back. And slide with the glider. They're going to gain a lot of this information with these teams sort of rotating back around this sort of south, trying to find an entry into this zone.
Trying to figure out some sort of way into this. Excuse me. Had a bit of a longer look at the zone and almost choked on it. It's an interesting one because we have so much water in play. Oh, missed your voice. Oh, man.
Ouch.
Man, that's just... like...
Ouch.
That's how it is to be in one of these lobbies, right? It's just like, somebody gets a links, they will nail that shot, they will put you down, your game's over, GG. Sit out for this one.
8-8, not looking to sit out. They're using the train to their advantage. They wiggle their way down through the south. To Link, obviously that construction site is very, very dangerous. Angles won't help. Mortar coming backwards and forwards. That's going to cause some issues. As they do try and catch the cars in rotation, or they try and go for the compound. We'll have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see where they end up. It's not a circle that a lot of teams have massive amounts of experience with, and well, again, we'll have to, as much as I overuse the phrase, we'll have to wait and see what Phase 3 does, because it's going to tell us where we go, right? Phase 3 is going to tell us where we go. There's tons of water in play. There's a bit of a funky land ratio around Tooling as well that a lot of the top teams will be aware of. But that doesn't mean, just because you know where the circles are going to go, doesn't mean you have a good play for it. I think we're going to see similar things here from Ascend, who are still in the blue, who are getting EMP'd in the blue now. They're going to be mighty late to this. And they're going to see that Phase 3, and they're going to react on it. If Brex doesn't get EMP'd here, yeah, that's rough. Does he manage to roll out the other end? I don't think so. I think they're full stuck here.
I think
the entirety of this EMP.
He is in the middle. He's got, he's got a bit downhill.
He might roll,
the wind.
But his teammates won't. They're so deep behind them.
He's got the wind in his sails. He might want to avoid the hill.
So close.
But it's Phase 2. He can get away with it. He can just heal. He's fine. He just needs to make sure there's no one backfilling.
They wanted to react on Phase 3, Mark. They have Keely in the glider who just spots the entire edge for them, and then now they know where the zone's going. They wanted to make a play, and the EMP just said, nah, man. You're sitting this one out. You're waiting until everybody has made their pick on the zone, and then you get to move again.
Yeah. It is painful. It is painful. Especially, we've not seen the EMPs take as much of an effect as to that level. But obviously, got to play back, but wait and see. 15 teams, 50 players. There goes the unplayable. As we do go back towards that northwest corner, saw a little bit of water. 100 ADR now in Danqing. They'll be happy. Everlong also taking an aggressive stance. They go for an early rotation. They will find themselves a little bit of a high ground here. Got to get their eyes on the prize though, because we just fly over that section there with that bridge. Really easy to park cars and just keep yourself alive. So any teams down bodies will potentially work their way in. Otherwise, they have to work their way around. Go on, Kitty, take him down, Top Gun style.
Lee has scouted the northern side for his team, and the only opposition he's met is another glider. So he's going to tell him, okay, you can cross, and he's going to have to worry about that glider himself. He doesn't have the height advantage right now. He's actually considerably lower, but him not getting any pressure from this compound is just going to make him call the team in. But yeah, again, he's going to get shot at quite a bit here, and it's not going to be the most comfortable that he's ever been, but he should get his team at least in the compound. They will take a breather from there. They know that they're no longer on the land ratio at least, but oh, Killy, he's just taking a bit of a nosedive here, just right into the open arms of Storm Request. He's got to be careful where he's going.
That is pure Top Gun style. Pressure. Got behind him. He's had to get down. Good, cool, calm, and collective. Unfortunately for him, glider does the damage in the end. And he will fall. Good spray. Good pressure. Storm Request living in the eye of the storm at the moment in the north. And they've arguably defending off and forcing to send another path.
I don't want to overstate this, but that could literally be the fumble that cost them the qualification here. They would love to keep 4 up here. Storm on Request is so close around them. If they could maybe even get an opener like they did on the Miramar, right? They get the opener towards Storm Request and then they clear them out completely. That's game changing. Now they don't have the glider, they don't have Keely, they don't have the numbers anymore. And they're gonna have to come up with something because they don't even have a ton of space for themselves.
It's a lack of information now, right? Kitty was providing so much information. As I like to say, they joystick the team in. Now they've been pushed towards the west, right? Now they've been forced over. A shift back towards the east could be dangerous. Even a shift towards the south. They are full send. That tire will go. And Nico has to scrabble for safety. as he's spinning around. Trying to keep the car in a straight line now. I think he might be okay. It's Chris has crashed in. Target for Aniko is to get there as well.
It's a good landing for Ascend. The timing was good, right? The timing was drive before the zone pop, so you are the first team to get there. And it does work out for them. I think they get the third in as well. They should be somewhat okay for now. They're still stuck in a city. That's not amazing. But the team that's stuck in there with them is a duo at the moment. So that is doable. And that is a lot better than their situation just a minute ago. If they get one shift now, or if they maybe figure out some way to take out ADR, just outgun them, outrun them here, then that could be all they need to play a decent game. Keep in mind, they already got the 3 frags from red line. So they're once again looking for not a terrible game. Takimi finds one with the Panzerfaust, though. There is the trade. Another one picked up for Ascent.
Yeah, 4 points. Well, they want to try and average maybe 5 out of this one. If they can get more, it's going to be beneficial. Just keep them in that conversation in that top 4. Wasted. Driving in GTA style. Also potentially looking at getting into Dantian, if not around. Aniko trying to do everything he can to try and deny. Double spray will go through. That's going to force him onto the other side of the street in towards Storm and Request, though, who have just rolled up here as well. GT looks to go around the corner, hoping to see a car, but doesn't get the connection he wants.
His team is absolutely getting destroyed, meanwhile, by the way. Nosferatu taken out a second ago. Now Kadal knocked and flushed as well. Storm and Request were hoping to reap the rewards here, but instead they're the ones getting punished. Now walks up, unheard of. No idea has Yokari. GT gets himself one, but all that I'm thinking about here, this is pretty good news for Ascend because everybody's bleeding so much numbers. They're now, as a duo, not looking nearly as bad as they did a minute ago.
I say 5 points for them at this game is a win, right? Yes, yeah. Want to try and stay in it for longer? Yes, you want to try and maximize points, but if they went out with 0 here, you got a question, right? But I think 5 at the moment is good for them. Still got the zone. Danching still holds in. You look to the outside edge. Tuning does leave the zone. It does mean teams like Slide have to find a new way in, and Bushido are sitting in front.
Sitting in front. Sitting in a dip. 888 right around them. Gotta be careful about where they take this. Still 14 teams in this. We're far away from placement points. Far away from anybody making game-winning moves here. Slide. Stuck between the blue zone and the nades of Gumperton. Not a good spot to be in.
No. This is dangerous. Zone. Shifter said both these teams need to go. Bushido now on the outside edge. So think about what point do they leave and take the run? Oh, that's a big nade back. That's going to put a massive delay for them. Do they cut ties? Do they try and go for the res? Difficult. 34 seconds to go. Zero Swag gets into the vehicle and Slice moving their way down to the road. That should be clear indication. That's confirmation it is. Now they've got to try and race their way towards zone because Slide is trying to wedge between them and then where they need to go.
They gotta take a fight here to do anything about this. Freeside's punishing themselves on the other side of things. It's a team that you don't want losing members, but they're blowing each other up. Not on purpose, I can guarantee you. Now the drive-bys with the Panzerfaust are gonna have to fix it for Slide. And they could well do. Miss Your Voice on the nade. Oh, this is gonna get dirty and fast, but the opener is there for Miss Your Voice and no reaction from Slide. Finally they get one back, but they are bleeding and are getting peppered.
Yeah, and what point, like, does Bushido maybe have a look over here? They got the util, they're not far away. Oh, it's clean. Slide. Go down. Heroes live to fight another day, but they're still not quite in the zone as well. And they've got neighboring solos and arguably nowhere else to go. This is aggressive for them. They've got to be very, very boisterous on the next move.
And he finds one on the free side. Will he get the confirm? I doubt it. The nades are clean. He's taking so much damage. He's caught immediately. That might just be another res for free side. Ascend lost Aniko in the meanwhile. Or lost. He did get knocked. Rex is just trying to hold the cross for him. Will catch it. Will clean it up. Will get the res here very likely as well. So that is one of those points you talked about. Smart decision making from him. They do play out their numbers advantage. Now they have to walk into another solo in front of them. Into another solo, into a full empty blank. While Freeside are looking good, Bushido are looking good. The competition is not sleeping.
Definitely not sleeping at the moment. Just did. And Yakim. Oh, headshot! Final player for the team. He's trying to get anything he can. Freeside. Gonna have the opportunity now to get the res. Yakim got more players coming his way. He's only got 81 in his back pocket. Sharing over 2. Ascend. One side, Storm and Request on the other. So he goes for a reposition. Bolty would have given away. Now comes the Smokes as he's waiting, watching and listening. Try and launch that nade out, but that nade back is perfect, and Brix lays it at his feet.
I can't even tell if that was on purpose or if that was just a good bounce for Ascend, but unfortunate. Unfortunate. Well done, cleaned up. They saw the folded shield, they were mollying the room, but then maybe Brix heard something, saw something, smelled something, I'm not sure what it was. But it's a big pickup. 5 points for the IGL. Now they're looking at Freeside. They're looking if they can maybe get a pick up there, but the zone is so cruel. Any flush they can get is just bonus from here on out, man.
There's bonus. Still holding out. Still got a few meds. Free vest, fortunately, under pressure. Nade could be good. Doesn't quite bounce the right side. Takes the top of the roof and back the way it came. A second life for the guys. Storm and Request underneath them. 2 kills for them. Here comes another chance. Bounces a little bit better. That's do the damage on Aniko. 5 seconds though, and the zone is coming this way.
It's another good nade. It does good damage again. They have to heal again. Zone is miles and miles and miles away. Tim Chick finds one. They must have now heard GT Ascend. They must have know at this point that he is a reality right below them. And again, if they can just kill him, that's already a massive win for them. That's already great. So whatever they decide to do here is going to have some implications. They don't want to go north either. They don't want to feed the points to Freeside, but just delaying a bit, just living a bit, that could be the recipe to get these points.
Well, the recipe will get him cooking. Utility will put him down. 4AS.
Oh, the
get one. The pan goes down as well. Car causing damage. Bushido, you get one back. Unfortunately, the wrong side of this ridge. They still got more util. Directing it where they got that initial knock from as well. So a bit more of a dump. First one doesn't get over. Second one, not bad. But again, no connection.
Scrappy fight this one. Messy fight this one. Bushido, they want to clean this up. They want to play a good game here. Celtic does fight one. Mid to be traded on the other side. It's just chaotic at this point. You're just running across the compound because there's so much exploding flying around their shoulders. Celtic caught in the process though. Nailcop last one off for Bushido. Ascend find one in the kill feed. Bushido is not looking clean in this one. Nailcop, he can't do it all. They're out.
Yep, they're out at the moment. Another 1 to 4. Ascend store up here. Freeside
for Brex.
Store up as a 4-man. This could be a good game for them. They're on the north. They're now taking shots towards Brex. Jumps over the top. They make that another. That's 7, 8 points here for Ascend. Make the additional for placement. They're up to 9.
Man. In no way, right, is Brex the most cracked on that squad. But he still is the most clutch sometimes. That's just, again, just maneuvering all these situations. There is so many teams around them, and they outmaneuvered them all as a duo. And he actually gets himself a 5th place here. I don't think he should get any more. I think, once again, it will be Freeside that has their eyes on the prize because they have the freedom, the liberty to do so. But 9 points in this game for Ascend is mental.
It's mental. Freeside. Okay, it's difficult terrain to play. It's difficult to train. 888 on looking now. They also need to move in. There's a few hills, a few dips. I'm worried that a lot of these people haven't actually got util to play into. Freeside, only the 1 kill. Again, no smokes there. No smokes as well. So this next ridge line for Freeside is going to be punishing. There you go, Fake Rush Observer. There is 0 smokes on the team. A little bit of heavy util, but nowhere to play.
I mean, it shows you, right? They were getting farmed by bolties. They were knocking each other with car explosions. And that all of them cost them just a ton of smokes. And Brex here realizing I can't give up a point to Freeside. They're direct competition. 888 is still alive as well. Can't give them the point either. And the chances that I get away with anything here, slim to none. So he denies the point. It's not exciting, but it's the effective way to close out the game here. Now, Freeside has a ton of space. 888 will have to push in on Havoc here. And I'm honestly not fancying Havoc's chances that much. One single blue zone would destroy them. That molly, I don't think it spreads enough for Shibanik. Anything coming through these small windows and they're done for.
It will be done for.
Very good.
Top 4. Oh, the car's saved him. The car's going to go. Needs to back away slightly. So they found a little safety in the cubby hole. Car now goes. Blue zone will start to dissipate. They have got the med on. Only one has done the damage, but it's not going to be enough. That was a C4. He could plant on the other side. He gets an opening. Now plant the C4. Surely get a confirmation. Molly comes back in, but he sweeps around the outside. So crazy gets the steal. Blazer gets some great shots, but it's not going to be him. I'm 5 will put him down.
888, they weren't able to do it with the util, but they are sticking to it. They're fighting this one out. They need all the points they can get as well. Just clearing out the shack here, living for a second, would do them so much good. Now the flash comes in, trying to clear, trying to find the shots. He doesn't find them immediately, but outnumbed, outgunned. 888 stays alive. For how long? I don't know.
2 players remain. Freeside sweeping their way through. Low kills for them. 4 angry cents. So got 8. Still 4 players up as well. Again, they're in a position where it's pretty much open terrain. So everyone fighting for this shack. Maybe, remarkably, only the last hard cover remaining here. Tiska gets moved down for Freeside. That could be huge for them. That might put the anchors down and stop their push.
Just look at the space they're controlling, right? Look at the space that Freeside has in this. We talked about their smokes, sure, but they got all the space in the world, and they should take the liberty here to third party this where they can, because they need these teams to be damaged. They don't want 4AS to come out here unscathed, but 888 is already doing that for them. 1-2, thank you. Now XDD is going to try to come in. Tishka trying to get the spots over the top, but apparently nobody is getting to clear out this warehouse. At least not cleanly. 888 didn't do it cleanly. 4AS ain't managing either. And that's really good news for Freeside.
Yeah, as long as Freeside can keep these teams at bay. Now looking to try and get the kills. There's 1. Face up. He's having a sweet round. He knows these players are going to be open the terrain, using the bush as cover. Sees the second. And 5. Eager to try and maybe push out. 4AS, big game for them from kills. But again, unable to dispatch this garage. This solo building. And 888 might be getting another pass. Maybe another point if they can get rid of 4AS.
And listen, I gave a lot of credit, right, for Brex, for how long he stuck into that game. I got to do the same for 888 here. They are just not moving. They're just the immovable object here. And they're making this hard for 4AS. Now Tishka comes in. Now it's the util, but it's not the util from 4AS. It is actually the molly from Freeside that makes things tricky. There it is. Can't get out of it. He can't escape it. And Freeside are looking to clean this game up. It has to be a miracle for 4AS. But it is still a 2v3. It's not unwinnable. Are they going to try and boost each other to the roof? I'm not sure. Maybe they're just denying at this point because they don't seem to be swinging around the sides. As soon as they do, the punches there. Freeside cleans up the win.
Cleans the win. That compound was unhinged for many. Freeside will take a 17-point game. A team which was on the cutoff point will be happy with this one. That penultimate game, though, does really the kills go to 4AS. And I do have to give big kudos to 888. You say their survivability has been unhinged so far. 7 out of 8 games.
Scrappy. Scrappy and well executed on that game, 888. Not an easy game for them to play. They've got to make big pushes here to keep themselves in it. And they do so to a great extent. Brex turns it on for Ascend when he has to. Gets himself 9 points, 7 frags, and a placement point just from himself. Big stuff. Showing his team how it's done. And this whole game just has one message for me, and it's the rich get richer. Everybody at the top was putting points on the board, right? Bushido, maybe not as much as the other 3, but they had a big buffer. Now we're looking at just Everybody at the top there continuing to put points on the board and nobody catching up.
This is the problem, though. With only one more game to go. Penultimate game done and dusted. Karo thinks the Richie getting richer. You let us know in chat. Will these other teams catch up? For now, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at the leaderboard before we go into the final match.
A new collaboration, movable death boxes, and some changes to Miramar. All this and more as we dive into the update 37.2 patch report. First up, the desert's about to heat up again with a visit from the iconic artist G-Dragon. You'll be able to find an emote stage on the starting island. Special G-Dragon map decor such as a decked out gas station and fan room, and other themed visuals such as planes, blue chip towers, and care packages. And be sure to head over to the G-Dragon truck stop to immerse yourself in the recreated Power music video set. Next up, we're improving the way you interact with some of the objects around the map. You'll now be able to reposition death boxes to get them to a safer location before looting, or use them to lure unsuspecting loot goblins to their demise. Doors can now be opened inward as well as outward, and all those gas tanks you've been wanting to shoot for years will now explode when you do so, leaving behind a large cloud of smoke to cover your movements. More details on where you can see these changes in the patch notes. And speaking of Miramar, the Minas Generalis area has gotten an overhaul this update as well. We've streamlined building layouts for more efficient looting, added more item spawn locations, simplified the terrain and structures, and balanced out the engagements between high and low ground in the area. There's also a new Survivor Pass, the return of Survivors Left Behind and Hungers Left Behind, some updates to Team Deathmatch and Intense Battle Royale, and more. So check out the patch notes for full details. Update 37.2 is here, so drop into Miramar, stack those death boxes high, and kick back with some G-Dragon hits. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Still alive. Just eviscerate the team just like that. They have taken the game.
About these events like the PUBG Hot Drop 2025 that we just had is simply just meeting all of these amazing people.
PUBG for putting on this amazing event. It's been so much fun. It's been so great getting to chat to the devs, getting to see everyone playing games and having so much fun. Thanks to all the team that's put it together.
It's great to be here. I can only say to other PUBG players, come here next year.
The time has come. The final match, though, a whole year of TPP, all the craziness, all the shenanigans come down to looking for a top 4. We need to look at the numbers, though, because I know these are getting eager to go. 8 already done from the Masters. 4 went through on week number 1. The final 4 looking to be drawn. Koho, you think it's a lockout? I still think there's some outside betting that we might get a sneaky look and arguably a very disruptive last game.
It's going to be destructive. It's going to be wild because we're looking at a leaderboard with now 4 teams in the top 4 that have built a buffer. Bushido, 0 points in that last one. I really thought they got away with 2 or 3 of the frags, but obviously they did not. So 57 is the cutoff. And Wasted here is on 42. They need a big game. Everybody below them needs a win at the minimum to close that gap. So we're going to have 4 teams at the top playing for 4 points, just a few kills, anything to increase that gap to an impossible margin. And everybody else is playing for a huge win, right? So it should just get as chaotic as it can get.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You know, I like to spin opportunities and chances. But I can't see Freesider sending an 8 dropping out at this point. 60 points for me, it should be one and done for them, right? I do worry. Bushido dropped the ball that last game. They're on 57 points. Yes, there is a little bit of a gap between them and Wasted. But as you say, if Wasted get a victory and get a number of kills, that could be a big difference. Now, other teams will be looking to try and do the same. They need to get the win, as you say, and they need to get more and more kills. But we need to get things going. It is the final game of the PUBG Player Cup, though, for the EMEA. It's coming in from the west up towards the northeast. Our observer is cooking the Holy Church. Will he be able to spin the right way? He knows which way the plane's coming. He should be good. 2 out of 2.
Hey, he got it. Easy, 1 and done.
It's only taking him all year, Koho. What are you talking about? It's left to the last game.
Yeah, listen, we'll be honest here. He went back to a slightly easier one here for the last one. He had to deliver, right? He had to get some sort of rewarding sensation going after a tough evening for our Mr. Observer. The game crashes don't help either, right? He's got to sit out while the action's unfolding. But we are in the last one. We are ready for an absolute blaster of a game. I think a lot of the teams are cooking, because they gotta figure out something spicy here. And if they don't, it's gonna be short-lived. Wasted here have the best chances to break into the top 4, and they are looking almost like a school apps hot drop.
Yeah, I was about to say this. This worries me. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the team that I need to do well. The team that needs to go to the third parties. The team that needs to get themselves a victory goes head to head. Why not? Let's get as many points on the board as we can.
And I think they're chasing a single guy into Rozok here. They're definitely cooking up something. There's definitely something going on there. Bushido and Redline ain't looking super clean either. 8 at 8 right next to Ascend. Everybody's getting feisty from the start. Scrap steals a car away. That's gonna sting a little bit if you're on the other side of things. Karks fires off a few shots. Can he compete for this? Yeah, Slavin's going the heck in, finds a UMP, and that player has 1 HP, right? So he's just got to connect 1 bullet here.
Slavin gets the vest, gets the UMP, now looking for a helmet, but takes the high ground. Has the opportunity that the players are on the split. Goes for a bit of parkour mode. You can hear the step out, the step around. Causing the damage, third party action, or reinforcements come in. And Slavin will claim the kill before the buggy slides on in.
Easy pickup, easy aggression, and that's what everybody in the lobby needed to see. That's the team on the cutoff. That's Bushido. That's the one that you are trying to attack, and they've just shown you a bit of a weakness. They've shown you that they do bleed. The door is inching ever so closer towards an open state. I don't think it's wide open just yet, but possibilities are there.
Possibilities are there. PUBG RDU already lost 1. As they are now holding. One is bleeding out. Not quite out at the moment, but not in a position to get the res. Need to be cautious. We'll try and pop the first aid. No vest, no helmet. Crash. Taking a hot drop in Tavernier as well. They'll be left to their own devices at the very, very top. Storm request are looking for a third party. You know, lingering a little bit on the east of this before they play in. And now red line.
What is
They can
happening?
do. But you're right. You called it a second ago, Koro. If they can get rid of Bushido and get him no more points back-to-back games, that could be huge.
Yeah, but did I expect it to be a naked man on the back of a buggy? Well, I didn't have that one on my bingo card at least. But oh boy, they're fierce and fearless. Stippy, same region, different team. Picks up an early one with the sword off. He's got the VSS at the ready. He was almost looking like he was going to flush his teammate
I'm about to say
for
he's
a
going to
second.
flush his own man.
Yeah.
I'm getting kills.
Just absolute rage in the last one here.
Oh, I love it. He's seen red. He's looking for some kills. It's the VSS. As he drives his way forward, though. And yeah, here comes that third party. Stormman request. Again, a team which I thought might have been a little bit higher up on that leaderboard. But it is difficult, again, as a best of 8 to achieve top 4.
Hey, man. Why not go out and have some fun? NX finds Crossberg, though. It is big. That's a nice headshot from Stippy. Connecting. The kill feed is lighting up, and it's just not going Bushido's way. They know they have a good buffer, but they are starting to sweat right now. All they wanted to do was play a normal game, just get a few points on the board. Now they're already down to 2, and they've given points to the teams right in the chase.
And they've gone back to the recall system as well. I wonder if they've got the chips. It looks like not. They might be driving by. And they're held enough. Jump for a shotgun, maybe for 2. Takes a big bit of damage as well. So they'll go find the more exposed. But he'll go down. Be cautious. Yeah.
What do you do?
He sent the buggies in. All torpedo. There's 1. There's 2. 3 times a charm. Gets it down to a 1-shot.
It ain't looking good for Red Line at the moment. They had an explosive start, some would say, but they are back to the lobby. They're out of the tournament, and it's 8-8 who picks up the points. That puts them to 64. That puts them very much in safe territory at the moment. They love to hear that. Shido doesn't love to hear that. But again, we need a big game, right? We need a win from some of these teams that are chasing.
Do need a big win. That so far it's been explosive. That's going to be here. VSS in hand again. Someone request, obviously, RQB came in for that third party, but as you said, they need points, right? So, got to crash in. It does get 1. Go repositions. Sees the jump shot in a bit more dangerous position to try and hold, though. But Stippy still on the 9s. Now got a Vector, causing more damage.
Damage with the hipfire as he un-ADSs. The fadeaway, not good angle for Selko, but he shoots a little bit too late. Alright, now this position's known. It's a 4v1. That should be done and dusted. That is Crash Z going out. The 2 Balkan teams, second to last and last in the last game. They're going for an early dinner, but I think both of them had a bit of a blast here in this early game. Both of them were absolutely on fire.
On fire. Havoc. See, a huge mountain to climb, so going to be causing chaos now. Slide work closer towards it on the outside edge, though. 13 teams, 50 players, and now we have another knocked one down. Havoc. I've been providing Havoc I think they wanted.
Huh?
Got flattened. I love the observers. I get run over. I'm getting out.
That was what? That was his 2 teammates coming in and both just kind of run him over. What was that? They're gonna get punished for this.
They are as well.
Oh no!
He was just trying to shoot people.
They were just so lined up. Both his teammates just not giving any space. Just an absolute barrage of UAZs coming in. Oh no! Not the nade now as well. Everything is going wrong for them.
So many times.
I've seen a lot of players switch into FPP actually for the nades as well, right? I think just for that reason, because they're just so much more used to throwing them. They actually aren't super well equipped to handle the third-person utility yet. Havoc's down to 1. Slide is looking to clean this up.
This is painful. To try and hold out. We spoke about the zone. It's in the north. It is mid to late left flame path. 100 ADR is late. 888 now trying to hold out Ascend. I think unfortunately will fall. 13th place for them. 12 teams now on phase number 1. Even for a phase 2. Blazer engage. And Ascend closing the grasp.
Good breach from Ascend, honestly. They spot the weakness. They realize there's not much going on here. It is just a duo. But is Blazer close range with 3 gear and a Mark 14? That's still a threat to be reckoned with. He whiffs on the first few, though. Chris puts him down to 1 HP. Might find himself run down here, and it's well done. Aniko and Chris combined from both sides. They clean up the anchor that 888 had on this side of the compound. And so they clean the space for themselves.
Well played. Again, we're looking at that, what, couple of points, 5 maybe max for these top teams, and that gets them through. Bushido already down to a duo. That's going to be a lot harder for them to sort of climb up those rankings, or at least secure their spot. So, wait and see. 888 cut loose, and they try and back out as well, back towards the zone. Ascend, again, need a couple of points. Why not chase it down?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think them locking that in, getting a few points on the board, nice and early. Exactly the recipe. You can also wait around, right? Because last games are explosive. Last games are aggressive. They are crazy. Teams tend to die off a little faster than they maybe should. So you can try and wait around. But I think it's just much more effective when you're on fire, when you feel like you're better than the lobby. Just get yourself the points. And we can see Wasted here. They are trying to force the issue. They know they need these points as well, right? They try to go really aggressive on the yellows here. Punished on the entry. Losing the first member before they find anything back. Now the opportunity is there, but the bullets don't suffice. Should be a mid for a Bizworld, and Wasted here. Their dream might end here.
Yeah, it's unlucky. Clicks dry, right? A couple more bullets in the chamber. That's a different story, especially on the crash. They get the upper hand. When it comes through, Nade will go out from Akim. Only on the 1 kill. This is the one team that might be able to try and take it away from Bushido, but they've got to stay alive. Blue zone Nade comes in. The molly at least dissipates, but with only 1 blue zone, you can heal your way through. Wasted. They're going to collapse on in. They're bringing the reinforcements.
Roof's good. The other one will be better. But Akeem gets the nade on out. Oh, it's a double nade. It's beautiful. It's an opener. It's Saint from the grave that knocks his teammate. It's everything that Wasted here could have needed. Do they know Abyssworld's on the roof, though? They should hear this at some point. They're looking to line up the nades, but they gotta be careful. Losing any more members. Yes, there's blue chip reses, but they cost you so much time. It's so many resources you're investing. They gotta clean this up, but I feel like the angles are not bad for Everlong.
Everlong reposition. That 4th player comes in as well. I think he's heard the car. Now sees the car swing its way back round, so they know one of the players has gone towards the high ground. They've got to get the connection, but again, they don't find those final shots when it's needed. Now they've got to rely back on the util dump.
And just bending util around the corner is not something that's very easy to do, but now the drive-by comes out. That's a distraction, and that's the cleanup. Yokari, well, down to low HP. Enix knocked. Is anybody here to pounce? Yes, Bushido is the one. Bushido is the one who lock in their qualification maybe here. By picking that one up from range, they try to do the damage that they can. They want to keep this res from happening as they can as well. If they die here, but they make sure Wasted here goes with them, that would be worth it.
Done and dusted, right? Complete done and dusted. I think it's in their minds. Do we try and play into it? Do we not? At the moment, they're locating more around towards that east. They're going to double check no one else is there. Have they got the recall chips as well? Is that what they're trying to play back for? But for now, Thinker, Pow gets Akim down, and unfortunately for Wasted, it might be the Wasted sign. As the rest of these teams, the rest of these lobbies closing it in.
I mean, I think they did the right thing here. They went aggressive. They hunted this fight. I was watching it on the map stream. They were forcing the heck out of this fight. Because they know they need the points, right? A 28 point gap or something along that. 18. That's a lot to be catching up. And it looks like it has failed, but Yokari still holds some of the cards. What if he pulls this off?
Nah, this could be a full crash, right? Has to be. See if we can hold. I've seen crazier things happen, so They're in zone. So might shift away. Ascend, move in towards Yaz. Maybe get the chips and run. Go to Yaz, get the players back. Get all the loot and win from the town. Unfortunately, doesn't have the time now. Slide their way in. Bushido slide themselves out and around. You can see them now coming on that east side. Zone should shift. We should give out the water. We do. We go more towards Yaz. And now comes the blue zone. One comes in. Ready to follow. No second blue zone just yet. So Yokari's going to have the opportunity to med.
It's not the worst thing in the world to get a blue zone like this in to buy yourself time, because you know Yokari can't do anything except heal it out, right? He can't move on too much. He can't push you. And there's the swing. There's the peak. And there is Wasted here. Wasted away. It is now the 4 Angry Sends. It is Empty Blank. That are the next ones on the list. That are the teams that might have something to do about this. But I have bad news for you, Empty Blank. They're in an open field getting knocked by Freeside.
Yeah. Not caught. Freeside on 2 kills at the moment. Maybe they're down to 22 HP. Using the cover while he can. Doesn't quite get the remaining question. Recap on the other side though. Chasing down. As you say, the rich is still getting richer. 4 Angry Sends. Go for an angry hot drop in towards Yaz. A lot of teams, a lot of numbers can hold out here for ADR. We'll clear out Storm and Request. A couple of kills for them. 4AS land themselves pretty much close, neighbouring onto Ascend. Oh!
Bushido gets one, but they get a team flush on it as well. That's an interesting one. Second point, however.
Run, Celtic!
And again, everybody at the top here, Mark, they're playing games of singular points, right? Every point brings them so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay, looking for a couple. With Wasted going out, they're beginning happy with that. But again, they just need to survive. Swaps over towards the shotgun. Sen doesn't have to overcommit just yet. But again, the team doesn't have the same level of pressure that Bushido have, right? They're the team that's on the cut-off line, the precipice of victory to move on. Or unfortunately, stepping out.
It was always going to be wild. Did I expect 29 alive in phase 3? Kind of wild. Not really. But it does make sense when half the lobby, 3/4 of the lobby is playing for a massive win. And then a quarter of the lobby is just playing for a few early kills. Just any sort of early kills. It's always going to be chaotic. And it feels like everybody at the top has achieved some of what they wanted to achieve. 888 is still kicking, even though Ascend did take their compound away from them. Bushido's found 2 kill points for themselves. And Bushido has also punished Wasted here, right? That was a big one.
See how punishing this zone's going to be. Or yes, let's get Aniko down. Zone shifting towards Yaz. Urban ending. Potentially. This east side, always delightful. Where we have those flats towards the field. We've seen some outstanding PUBG memorabilia from there. The likes of Eternal Fire going for a full send into that corner and actually qualifying through. So let's see how we go. Everyone else should try and collapse in towards the town. Freeside on the one side of this slide by. And Kidikai get his teammate up.
Mindset. Can't continue the drive-bys. Car says stop. That's a teammate gone. That's a slick flush. Flashlight, 4 frags so far for 888. Coming into the town as well. We're ending with a Yar circle. We're giving it a last hurrah. And Ascend. Well, they were right behind this. I read the tags wrong. ADR is the one picking that one up.
He pinballs his way through the town. Finds the garage building. He has started to split up though, so it wasn't the objective to land there. Freeside been trying to chase it, went down. Kitty, as you said, went down to go get that recall. Now it's been escorted back to the safety. As Recoup.
Hello?
Gets himself back on the 4 wheels.
He could have been a threat there if he didn't flip his car, right? That's unfortunate. That's tough to maneuver, but he could have been a real problem there to Killy. Because he had the rest of Freeside looking over his shoulder. He's breached it anyways. What a mental man.
Why not?
Sure. Just get in there. All the barriers have dropped. There's no hurdles anymore. People are just going straight at it.
It's a full send for them. Feel for the observer now, because it is going to be chaos after chaos. Not like it's going to calm down at any point, right? And ready are looking to drive forward. 8-8 and 4 kills already, but currently driving in that 3rd position, so already in a locked-in slot. Rest of these teams here. Heroes. They came into this game in 8th on 34. There's a huge game required for them. Lots of teams already stealing the kills.
Rez comes in. Plane comes over the town for Ascend. The IGL comes back.
Here
They
comes
are
Freeside.
now looking towards Freeside. ADR still squaring off 4 AS. Trying to do things, trying to get things going. But it does seem impossible. MK for Chris. Remember, he was getting pushed by it earlier. He picked it up right away. And uses it to punish a Freeside that now only has 1 standing.
No surprise. It is on the east side of Yaz, in towards that field section as well. Slide in that bottom section, and north in the southeast. Ascend obviously getting Brex back. They now hold the last stop on the train, which is going to be Yaz. These teams like 100 ADR, 888, Heroes, they all need to make a hero play in the north. Then we see the south, though, for Angry Sens, pretty much left to their own devices, but they have a little bit of sneaky snake with Bushido. Might be tempted to pick up on the lonely ducklings as they cross the road.
To mix it across. So that's not bad, but they are still so widely split. Look at them. They're trying to control the entire southern side here. And I don't mind it a single bit. Again, I'm repeating myself, right? But they need big things. But that's 1 nade too low and 1 nade too high. The attempt was good. The idea was good. The timing was flawless. Execution was a little lacking.
All right, Goldilocks. One's too hot, one's too cold. No, it would get just right. 888 will still hold. 100 ADR waiting as the position's been exposed. And Kilikai trying to catch some rotation here coming in from Heroes. Opening knock does come in from 100 ADR. They do catch the cross, but it is tit for tat as the roof store causing chaos.
Yeah, this is one that a fight that could go into multiple rounds here. If you don't land that devastating nade, then you land that knockout punch, you might go into a lot of different rounds. Timchik finds one onto the Internet Heroes. He is severely outnumbered in his fight, however. He's looking for that one flush. By the looks of things, should get it. Might even get himself the second, but there's a nade with his name on it. Does it land, though? Goes a little far, no damage dealt.
No, he Hail Mary's Molly out, though. On the way back. Obviously, Vampire giving away the sound cues. He can't quite get it. Airburst was good, though, on that one. Causing some damage. But they've now lost the ability to get information. And Kilikai, the Brex, really driving forward on the outside. They're trying to sweep this west now of Yaz. Again, be the last team remaining.
We're bleeding players. Down to just 8 teams now. Sten starting to flex out towards the edge to grab more of these kills because they're realizing the kills ain't coming towards them. Mochik. Yeah, took that one up to perfection. Well done. Might get the second as well. The cancelled volt sends him for a spin. See you later.
What?
Wrecked.
Gets caught. Zone shift out. Back towards that southeast. Panzer now. This is where everyone gets down and dirty. Double Panzer charge. Over. See if he can dodge not just one but 2. Here comes the first one. Does get one. Look at the second. Second, he gets expelled. Now he's looking for the kills. There's one. And underarm nades. Looking for the second. Free side will hold.
Slides on 7 in this last one as well. Looking to make the group there. Looking to pick up another one of those drops. Is Senka Pow Pow. 4 for Ascend. Bushido still kicking. 888 still kicking. Sharing the same building with each other. Just, you know, friendly. Don't want to walk into a shotgun on my roof, says April. And we are at least going away from the majority of the teams on that western side. We are moving closer to Senka Pow Pow. Maver with the Panzerfaust, and, well, he did end up saying hello to the shotgun. It didn't go well for him.
No, but more points in the way of Bushido. We are on the placement points now, so every team you eliminate, it's double wobble. You'll get the kill and you'll get the placement. As Brex gets another point on the board. That's number 5 for Ascend. Locked in, no doubt. And Nico still having an elevation as well. He's not quite in the zone. Same as Brex. As they can now see 180 yards scrap all their way towards the zone. The final player here for 180 yards. Still not quite there. I'm building away.
Senka Pow Pow is still trying to cook here. Still trying to get something going. He hasn't left that fight. Mava has left the building. He's in the next one over. Senka has the arm ready. Oh boy. If he gets a good spot on some of these 4AS players, he could be devastating, but they crossed the road already without him knowing.
Yeah, they've kind of backfilling right there. Left to their own devices in that southeast corner. Like, when is anyone coming our way? Not going to be the case. The chaos has been on the west here. So they've crossed. They're now pushing their way towards Freeside. 4AS might do the same loop and follow them. Senka Pow Pow will be completely exposed. 6 teams, 11 players though. So everybody's suffering. The first one to go, Senka Pow Pow, as they slide in on 6.
Didn't get anything going with the arm, did he? He would have loved to put up some highlights here towards the end. Celtic is still doing work for Bushido, by the way. If anyone was wondering if Bushido was going out of this, Celtic has made sure that this is absolutely not the case. I think he might be on... I don't know what he did individually. He picked up every single one. I knew they had 5 total. I didn't know how many were his. But oh man.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's been putting them up and knocking them down. Ascend looking like one of the favorites to win this. They still might get a little bit torn apart here between multiple fronts. But they will, I think, lock out Bushido first. The Achille has his eyes on the prize.
4AS. 3. Rotating their way, I said, around that sort of pathing. Up to the south, back the other way. Then driving their way out. They've got the numbers. They're going for that split. Looking to try and conquer a little bit more of that zone as it has shifted back towards that east. This gets a good connection. Back to click dry with 2. Has to swap over. They do get the opening onto Chris. Arguably, he's in a safe-ish position. So they can't get a confirmation.
Safe once the smokes come out, but 4AS can still completely close out that space here. 4AS can still try and brush the library for themselves, which they are doing now. Try and make sure that SN doesn't get it. Keely, meanwhile, is still playing games with Celtic, but Celtic knows just what expects him on the other side. Gets the nade on over. Keely with the dodge. And once Celtic swings for that second nade, we might even see Keely go for the Panzerfaust, and there he is. And yep, hello. My explosive stick is better than your explosive ball. Keely wins it out.
Boomstick. It was like a rock, paper, scissors moment, right? Panzer takes nade. Ascend with 4. 4AS with 3. Freeside still running with the solo now. Maver has to try and hold out Keely on one side. Nico trying to provide the cover. Trying to keep that suppression. We're looking to go back towards Ascend's way. Surely with the zone. X back in the car. Maver does use his boomstick, and Kilikai gets a little bit of a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, it feels much better when you're... or it feels much worse when you're on the receiving end of the Panzerfaust. Killy gets to experience a little bit of that as well. Mava, what's he going to do with this? He's going to hope that 4AS and Ascend pops off completely here, but Ascend has no reason to. They've just got so much space that's in the zone. They don't need that library at all. They can just sit it out, wait for everybody to come to them.
Yeah. 3 versus 3 versus 1 for ES. The only team not in conversation for a top 4. They did come in on 35 points. A win might put them up there, but I'd also argue they don't think they've got the kills, and Bushido might have just done enough as well to converse out. So, over left his own devices. He's on the outside edge. And Ascend firmly locked in as to where the zone is going.
A little bit of Doritos from Ava. Still trying to pick up whatever he can get in his arsenal. He's got 5 nades, but I'm not sure if he's going to get into range to use them. 1 in the smoke launcher, 3 more in the inventory, but there's a ton of high ground that he's working against as well. You have to remember that does make the smokes so much more treacherous to step into. And he might not even make it to the first one. The timing is great for him. Ooh. XD steps away from the angle just as he makes the cross.
Sees the move.
But despite that, if they get 1 good nade in here, or even if they just hold the edge, have an impossible task at hand.
Yeah, he's still got a bit of a dart ahead of him. As the open train is there. Just launch a nade back. Rex does get as he jumps off. So now collapsing their way in. 4AS in a position now to try and dig themselves out of a bit of danger. Is that confirmation as well? Chris now draws his attention towards Maver. Nade comes in, does the damage. Takes 50 HP off of him. And now he has to reposition and figure out where the hell did that Kobe come from?
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because he doesn't have enough time to heal. He's just walking circles around his folded shield. Vaults back over into safety to get the first hit off. That man is truly in the trenches. Now barely lives through the blue zone. He can't live through that another first aid. He's got to make the step over. Chris takes him out. See you later. And a 3-man Ascend will now try and close out a 2-man 4AS. 4AS, I think they were 6 before this game. Oh, well, they might have put themselves into 5th, but they just haven't done what would have been necessary for 4.
Nah, they've not got the kills, have they? The kills not been fed to them. They are chasing them down, but a little bit too late. Ascend, a bit of a victory lap here. 8 kills. It has been an outstanding day. There goes the flash. The high ground here will be able to spot out. Can hear the footsteps as Chris might be looking to do a bit more parkour mode as he jump on over. Rex playing a bit more of a bunny hop style. Trying to get any information he can. And Chris, well, knows one's in the shack. Not anymore. Here's the second one. Great spray will go through. Clicks right. 37 left up. And it's going to be the victory. It's Chris will bag 2. And Ascend will rise up 1 more. 20-point game. Victory lap for them. But locking that seatbelt in for a top 4 placement, surely.
Ascend wins 3 games out of 8, by the way. 3 out of 8. 2 of them were won by Bushido. 3 of them were won by Ascend. The favorites did come out to play very, very clearly in this last Player Cup of the season. And there was a bunch of really good competitors here, especially all the way throughout the end. I think we had a lot of our eyes on Redline, right? We saw Wasted here with some pop-ups. We saw a lot of teams get close. But that top 4 in the end, it feels like they all 4 very clearly deserved it.
Yeah, it was definitely second day, right? And I think coming to today, it could have been anyone's game. They had the opportunity to kind of lock it in, and I felt like they did. All 4 doing pretty well. It was a bit chaotic even from the onset. We've got to talk about 888, right? Yes, they might not be finishing top of the table, but throughout all of the 8 games, Koho, they've been that one team that seems to always be there, always trying to find the top 4, always getting enough kills to keep them in topic of conversation. So, might not have got the conversions, might not have got the wins that they wanted, but arguably, they're getting enough points to see them through.
Yeah. They had a 1 2-point game, right? That was their worst game. And no 0-pointers, nothing like it. Always getting points on the board. A lot of their games were 10, 11, 11, 13, right? That was 888 throughout this tournament. And that was the way that they got themselves into such a safe position here towards the end. Where an Ascend, for example, the pop-ups were regular, but they had a 0-pointer, they had a 1-pointer, they had a 4-pointer, right? They had way more quiet games than 888 ever did. So different ways to get the points. But honestly, in the end, doesn't matter. I feel like they locked it in. Even a Bushido that was looking a little spicy here in the last game when they lose those 2 players early. Just, not miles ahead, but very clearly ahead of everybody else that was chasing them.
One thing I said on that pre-show, mate, is that for me, Bushido coming into today, like it was that last game that kind of popped off for them, and before that they were really low down the leaderboard. Now they had a lot to obviously climb, and there's a lot to sort of hold and things, and they sort of drive into that compound. It was a win for them, that takeaway from 888. So the ability to convert games is huge for them. But it could have gone horrifically wrong as well. So they just need to, again, I hate the word consistency because we use it all the time. They just need to get their first day out of their way and get those points average up higher, and not rely on the last game, not rely on the second day just to kind of see them through, because it feels like it's always last minute for them.
Yeah. Again, I think both of those regional partner teams that we talk so much about today do kind of have that, where consistency isn't what they're known for, right? Consistency isn't the thing we think about when we think about Ascend or Bushido, and that is what separates them from maybe a Twisted Minds, from a FaZe Clan, from a Na'Vi, from a Na'Vi that I feel like isn't flashy a lot of the time, but is never terrible. When is the last time you've seen Na'Vi have a terrible tournament, right? I remember, I don't know, the team in 2023 that didn't make PGC, but that's like, you know, that's years ago at this point. So, consistency is what separates them from the very, very top. But here, on the second attempt, with a Twisted Minds and a FaZe Clan already out, it was more than enough.
Definitely more than enough. It was, we see the chaos, though, that was the last game, and that towards Bushido. They did lose bodies quite early on, so it's a bit chaotic. They will get a few points, though, and Celtic obviously able to dig deep and get the kills, just enough to sort of see them over the top. And there they are. Again, a bit of a hit-and-miss team for me at the moment, Kai. Some events do really well. Some events, and again, they leave it to like the second days or the last games to sort of drive up. So I'd like to see them obviously come back and look at how they position themselves in zone 4. And that, again, that will be more of a case that we might see next year 100 ADR taking more of these top spots because they've got the mechanics there.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a lot of really good contenders, and we have to talk about an 888. We have to talk about Freeside here in this tournament, and then plenty other teams, right? A Slam G, who qualified through Masters. They're not a regional partner. They're not invited. But here it is. Here is the leaderboard, and here is the top 4. And in the end, you have to be honest, it was not close. 20-point gap almost for 888, Bushido, Freeside, and Ascend, who will go to the last chance qualifier and who will play for a chance of $50,000 in Masters West.
Yeah, 4 locked in. Only really one team had the opportunity to steal it away, but wasted here was wasted on the last game. Getting controlled out not just by one team, but multiple teams, unable to get the conversion, but a good game. Ascend driving on top. The boot camp seems to be working, and the aggressive stance I'm seeing from Ascend, but this is what it is, seems to be working for them. 48 kills. They'll be top of the table when it comes down to that, but a good number of conversions. Freeside done well, Bushido done well, and 888. Those 4 will be locking themselves in, and more importantly, joining the other 16 teams now. Well, they will make the 16 teams, though, as we had the teams from, as you said before, Masters and Masters West getting enough points. Say Masters West for Masters, getting enough points through the years, and then obviously working their way through with that FaZe and Twisted Minds.
I just want to say one last thing on this leaderboard, yeah? Look at Ascend's kill points, and look how many points the team in 5th had. They could have had 0 placement points, and they would have been in the top 4. That's how many kills they were able to rack up. That is crazy. Freeside being close there as well. I think it just they had a different kind of tournament, right? 8 games, they got 15 more kills than the 5th place. So solid stuff for them, and they put themselves in this group, and I think they belong in this group. And this is looking like a super, super stacked lobby, isn't it?
Super stacked, and the rest. We got Navi, we got VP, GK, Foot Esports, BB, Twisted Minds, and FaZe, and we've got Ascend obviously enter into the big names already there. Bushido, you got to put into that big name mix as well. I want to add Hive to the mix because we're on the TPP circuit. Hive arguably is doing a lot better in the TPP circuit than the FPP, and it pains me to say this. So is Foot Esports. Foot Esports are looking a lot stronger on a TPP compared to an FPP. But overall, there's our 16 teams that will be going through now to play the Masters last chance. We will only take 8 teams that will represent the EMEA region forward after the best of 12. And they will be duking out against the Americas. I see Toffee's in chat. Big shout. We've got a better region than you, mate. So watch out. We are coming, mate, because we've got some heavy hitters here, Goa.
We got the whole gang. We got the whole gang in a town. I think it's going to be super interesting to see how the smaller contenders will do here, right? Skills contenders, 888, they are smaller teams, even Freeside. And you got to give a shout out to where all of these teams come from, because they're all CIS, right? All of the non-partner teams that have made it here are essentially from CIS. They are grinding, they are putting in the hours, they are going through this new circuit, and it shows in the results.
It has showing through. Again, a couple more stages before we see that final explosive action, though, for that TPP circuit. I also want to take the time and opportunity, though, because this is the last PUBG Player Cup, though, and it has been explosive here. So thank you very much, Koho, for being my co-host for most of it. I also want to give a big shout out to Fadix for joining in. More importantly, we have to thank PUBG and PUBG Esports and Challenger Mode for arranging all this stuff. Being Esports for all the observing, everything you see that's coming up. So a massive shout out to the production crew. But as we said before, this is the last PUBG Player Cup. So thank you very much for us. You will see the Americas a little bit later on. And more importantly, this weekend, we are back for the PUBG PEC final. We'll be duking out from Friday night all the way to Sunday, who will decide to be going towards that PGS. That's it from us. Thank you very much again. And we'll see all you guys later on.
Still alive. Just eviscerate the team just like that. They have taken the game.